Hold on, Andy.
Did Brian tell you, like, in the group that 17-year-old lass that I shagged in Manchester's pregnant?
Go on, you big fucking prick.
Did Brian tell you, like, in the group that 17-year-old lass that I shagged in Manchester's pregnant?
Hey, they're the boxing rants on the podcast, by the way. Yeah, today. What?
Oh, fucking hell, Pops. It's about an hour late.
Did Brian tell you, like, in the group that 17-year-old lass that I shagged in Manchester's pregnant?
So, everyone, welcome to the latest edition of the Next Week Pod. That's just a quick update. If any of you are wondering where Tom, our beloved panellist, is, and has been for the last couple of weeks, he's got himself into some hot water. Let's just say that. And we're not legally allowed to comment any further, but he'll be back soon at some point. Right, we're here tonight with, who have we got? We've got Ainsley, Andy, Brian, Cal, and Sam. And everyone want to say hi?
Hiya.
Fuck the Queen.
Right, so let's get it out of the way first. Who didn't see any of the fights?
Me.
I watched Terry and Derry this morning, and that's it.
He says it like it's a fucking...
It's a fucking chore, this. Being boxing media, mate, it's a chore. I want to go out and get mad with it, but...
I've seen them uppercuts that Jupp took. That's it.
Well, I'm switching to MMA now.
Yeah.
Well, now this is confirmation why next big fight pod got a press pass and none of us do.
They got a press pass?
Yeah, and apparently the guy was seen wearing a next big pod, next big fight pod t-shirt.
You mean that fucking Jew?
Was he in that fight?
Has Mossad just took Carp out there or what?
I just got booted off for inciting racial hate. Fuck that Jew.
Let's start with Israel then. Israel-Palestine we'll kick off with. What do you think, Carp?
Are we back to this again?
Free Palestine.
Then we'll go on to the troubles for the second hour, right?
Free Palestine all day.
Yeah, Team Palestine.
The illegal occupation of Palestinian land makes me feel sick.
Kell Brook sucks dicks.
Right, let's talk about some boxing none of us have seen.
Right, so let's start off with obviously the big one from Liverpool, which was Flanigan against Matthews. Was it technically a unification, or are we not counting it? Because didn't Derry have a regular belt?
It got
Did he?
stripped for that, wasn't he?
Vacated it, sorry.
He vacated.
That was the belt that Barroso fought Mitchell for.
Oh, of course. Yeah. I'm getting confused. Sorry. So it was for Flanigan's WBA belt, wasn't it? And we had a sort of a fairly wide decision. I'll go around the group. I had it 118-109. I gave Derry one round, and then I had one even because there was a point deduction in a round that I thought Flanigan won otherwise. Ainsley, how did you score it, mate?
I missed a round because I've been sick, but I think I did like 9-2 or something.
Okay, so again, a clear win for Flanigan, right?
Yeah. And I think the round that I missed, all you lot said you'd give it Flanigan, but I didn't think Flanigan was overly great, and I don't think Derry was that bad, but he just, I don't know. Derry seemed a little bit old in that fight.
Yeah, he did look a bit, it looked like it was his 50th fight, didn't it? Andy, how did you score it, mate?
I've not seen it. I'm leaving meant to go here. I wasn't planning on coming on for 2 reasons.
Go on, Sam, what the fucking socket tits.
I've not seen any fights, and I've been out all weekend getting fucking mad with it. So I wasn't coming on, but then earlier on, obviously, there's fucking nobody to come on, so I need to come on. So I'm just going to sit here, let you talk, and when there's something funny to say, I'll chime in.
You'll not talk all night then, will you?
Shut up, you wee dick.
Cal, how did you score it, mate? You watched the main event, right?
No, but on the aside of it, the consensus was like 117. I'll go with that and say.
How can it be 117, 111 if fucking Flanigan got a point deducted?
Give it a draw, maybe. I don't know.
Faggots.
Oh, fucking casuals.
Anyway, yeah. So I score it like that too. Good fight. Not much happened, but there you go. Two average fighters fighting for a world title again in England. Classic.
I don't think.
Brian, score it, mate. You had it a bit closer, didn't you? You had Derry doing a bit better than the rest of us.
I had it.
Derry's ass.
Nigger, please. I had it 116, 111. I thought it was like fucking. I gave Derry what. I only gave him 3 rounds. I think that the fight was competitive, although like it was a clear win for Flanigan. I says to Sam this morning, I thought Derry done better than what I expected, and Flanigan done worse. If that even fucking makes sense. Like Flanigan didn't look good in there, and I've got a habit of like really hating on fucking boxers if they're just dirty bastards. I've got a serious dislike to Salido, and I would really like to see him die in the ring because he is a cheating bastard. And Flanigan was one horrible fucker in that ring at the weekend. Oh, I want to hear him to try to defend this cunt. He was getting with fucking elbows. He was trying to batter the heat in people, low blows behind the heat. He basically fucking DDT'd Derry and all. There was no need for that either. He deliberately fucking done that, like dragged him right onto the canvas.
I thought it was out of order how Derry was headbutting Terry's elbow, to be honest.
Oh, right, aye. Yeah, the elbow was getting in the way, you
I know what you mean, Brian. I thought it was. I couldn't really tell what he was trying to do. It seemed like he was trying to disrupt him, but also sort of send a message that he wasn't going to, be bullied.
You know what it reminded me? Let's see, like Postal v Matisse, where Postal was just being a fucking dirty cunt all fight, and the fight was absolutely shite. And then eventually, when he started to box, he looked a good fighter, and the fight actually opened up a bit, and he looked a lot better and got the stoppage. That's what it looked like. But Flanigan looked terrible every time he was trying to grab him, try to elbow. But see, when he started working behind these like jab and actually fucking moving and boxing, he looked a lot better. There was no need to be that dirty, and it was deliberate. I don't know whether there's a bit of issue between the two of them, and because Flanagan's a mank and Derry's a scouser, well, there was a bit of rivalry there. But I actually thought the fight was alright, man. I know a lot of people shan't, but I liked it. But Flanagan's a fucking horrible mongy bastard, isn't he?
He's been nursing an injury, innit? So I don't know whether he was just
that's what I thought, Sam.
trying to do anything to his advantage to get the win, because he was.
Alex, fuck up, you fanny. You can't come on the fucking chat and start being a gobby bastard, lobbing Floyd there. You wee fucking knob. You're not even on. Prick.
I thought it was a case of sort of when Flanigan. There were a couple of rounds when he boxed and was really positive and looked really good, and then there were others when he just seemed to sort of want to take the crowd out of it and really disrupt the flow. I never got the sense that there was any like real hate between them, but I think Sam might be right that there might have been injuries and maybe he was a bit unsure of himself. He wanted to keep the pace quite slow.
You can't even tell whether like Flanigan. There's a bit of rivalry, or he's got a bit of hatred anyway, because he's like pure monotone, isn't he? He could walk in and his maw's getting fucking raked half a. I was going to say somebody there, but I'm fearing in case I get my card kicked in at an arse fight. Anyway, and he would just sound the same person, man. He's just a born bastard. You can't tell whether he's sad, happy, or fucking raging.
I was listening to the Asylum this morning, and I thought they were talking about how Flanigan, fighting in America. And imagine Flanigan on like one of them HBO talking heads things, like getting interviewed by Max Kellerman or something, and replying with like one word in, one of the. I thought Crawler had a strong accent until I heard Flanigan.
Well, they're doing a face-off for Canelo Khan. One's a spastic, one doesn't speak English, and they also done one for Golovkin and Lemieux.
They've got Virgil Hunter's in it as well.
Yeah, Virgil Hunter is Samuel L. Jackson.
I never understand why they do a face-off for every big fight, because there, like you say, Brian, there are some fighters where a face-off is brilliant and it's really suited for the fight. Like I thought the Martinez Cotto face-off was brilliant, but there are some when it's like Lemieux doesn't have a clue what Golovkin's saying. He can barely speak English. He's saying like the most boring things you can imagine. It's just pointless. Why don't they just do like a 24/7 instead? I don't understand the obsession with face-offs. I guess they're cheap to make, but we're sort of going off track a little bit. But we all had Flanigan winning, right? Was anyone impressed with Derry? Disappointed?
I think you might regret a few things, Derry, to be honest, because he may as well have just gone for it a little bit more, and he just I don't know if he couldn't do it because his legs weren't there or what, but he didn't exactly go hell for leather when he was clearly already behind on points.
He impressed me.
I thought Derry moved a lot better than I've seen him in most fights.
He's better than the Derry that got outclassed by Tommy Coyle till he sparked him out.
Yeah, why do people say this? He won that fight by knockout. He lost the fight last night on the weekend. I don't know how you can say a fight he lost.
No, but
better than a fight he won.
on boxing ability, he looks a better boxer than he did 3 years ago, for example. So he has
Yeah.
improved.
Yeah, I think he's improved. Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah,
But I think
that's what I'm trying to say. I'm not saying that like the Derry of now wouldn't get schooled by Tommy Coyle. The Derry of now would probably beat Tommy Coyle.
But
Where
that
Tommy
night,
Coyle? Tommy Coyle did.
that night,
He's
Tommy
got an
Coyle.
announcement tomorrow.
Yeah, but Tommy Coyle overachieved that night, and Derry didn't take him seriously.
He's still got sparked out, doesn't he? So he won. But...
Well, exactly. I mean, you can. What's the phrase? Win today, look good tomorrow, or whatever it is. You know, he won and he lost last night. I'm sure he would have taken looking shit and then chinning Flanigan in the last round.
Did somebody just mention Tommy Coyle there?
I think a friend of the show.
Is he going to call in later?
I've heard he might be.
Obviously,
Got an announcement.
what I've got to say is irrelevant because I haven't watched any fights, but Ormond seemed to have done a better job on Derry than fucking Flanigan did. And if Ormond would have trained properly for that fight against Flanigan, he would have beat him.
No, it wasn't. He trained properly for that fight.
Team Island, fuck you all.
He trained properly for that fight. That's not.
He did train properly, and he won what 2 rounds and lost the other 9. And then
He started
went
well.
He won more than 2 rounds. He won about. It was quite even.
6.
I had Flanigan pulling away.
Yeah, he was.
I had him quite far ahead by the time of the stop.
How you didn't even watch the fight, man, and you've told us how many rounds he won?
No, I'm on about the Flanigan against Ormond fight. It was like 6-4, I think, when he started headbutting him. So he'd lost like the last 3.
No, I didn't think it was that close. I thought it was.
What?
We're a couple
3.
apart, maybe.
Yeah, Flanagan was pulling away in that fight. Undisputed.
I thought
Everyone knows
Flanagan
that.
was well on top. Yeah, I agree.
But
But you know,
He was pulling shit like he was on Saturday again, though, being a dirty cunt, and he got away with it.
I don't mind that necessarily. I think. Look, the ref. It was fair to take a point. The ref took a point. What more do you want? You know, it's not like he wasn't getting punished for it. He got a point off. I don't have a problem with fighters being dirty if the referee punishes them.
You get warned often enough, though. How many warnings are you allowed to get before you actually get a point to talk to? It took him forever.
3 warnings and then he got a point off, and then he didn't do it again.
Yeah.
No, he still done it. He still done it. He was still fucking grabbing behind his head and pulling him down.
That was at the beginning, though. After he got the point off, he didn't really do anything.
Yeah. Unlike if you compare it to Amir Khan, when he got a point to scoff against Peterson and carried on being a little shit.
Yeah, or Ortiz against who was it against Jennings? He kept getting warning for shoving, and you know he was just calling the ref's bluff. He just kept doing it, and he knew the ref wasn't going to take a point off him for pushing because it's such a weird thing to have a point deducted for. Whereas holding and sort of hitting behind the head or whatever is a lot more I don't know, emotive to the crowd, I suppose.
The main problem with that, though, is the referee, if they do take a point early, make a rod for their own back then, because then they've got to stay consistent and take another point when they do it a few more times. And then
do you remember?
You don't want to disqualify someone for just a bit dirty. Do you know what I mean? Like, it'd be a bit shit if fights actually got stopped for like a little bit of elbow. I get it when there's headbutts, but
Do you remember the famous one? I actually watched it. Funnily enough, it just came on YouTube randomly on Saturday. Andre Ward against Rodriguez. About 2 years ago, wasn't it?
Oh, when he got 2 points took off?
In the third round, he took 2 points off each guy. And I remember at the time thinking, why has he done that? They must have done something mental, like really bad. And then I realised.
Brother-in-law just scored for Leicester.
Who scored?
Okazaki. Is that your brother-in-law?
Yes.
Right.
Well,
You've literally done every ethnic group now in the first 15 minutes of the show.
Boom.
You're missing. Just keep the list. You're missing Indian people and Native American people. Okay.
I'm going to go into the fags later on and all. Kell Brook.
Yeah. Okay. You can get Kell later on.
MVP exclusive coming up.
Cal, mate, just to bring you back, I know you did actually see a bit of George Jupp, who fought, obviously, for a world title, an interim belt, I think it was, at the weekend.
Yeah.
What did you think of that? I think you saw the stoppage, right?
good uppercuts. He's fucking lanky, isn't he, for that weight?
I was amazed he made the weight, because he had to go on a plane, and if you go on a plane, it's just fucking impossible to cut. You gain like 10 pounds every time you sit on a plane.
I quite like it when these guys, like, obviously he got the win against Mitchell Smith. I backed it, by the way. MVP tips 5-1. He beat Mitchell Smith, and then he actually goes and takes a really tough fight that he's never going to win. That's a lot better than just going back a level and fighting on the fucking You go, shit, still, you may as well try your fucking luck, see what you can do. And then now he knows.
Disagree. I think it's better for prospects to turn down difficult fights on the grounds that they could be pay-per-view in 5 years' time. We'll get there anyway. Sorry, that's a little hint. We'll get onto that later. Sorry, Cal, go on.
Well, yeah, so I like that he actually went give it a go and fucking come up short. But now he can go back to like Mitchell Smith level. It's better than just staying at Mitchell Smith level.
He's a British level guy, isn't he? There's no shame in that. And he went and he fought a Mexican guy who's probably fringe world level. He's not elite, but he's pretty good. And he got smashed by uppercuts. It was like Margarito on Cintron style. His head was just bouncing up and down, and the ref stops it in the end. Quite a nasty knockout, but I think he's okay. But respect for trying. There's no shame in taking a loss to a good fighter.
He's got most respect this week out of the fights I've heard about.
He's going on the hot list, even in defeat.
He's on the hot list.
You see, like, this is the thing. So in his situation, he's not gonna. He's not even like British level. He's like lower British level, and he's not fucking great. So for him to get shot at, might as well take it. Gets chin. But then, if it were Mitchell Smith who got offered that, he'd just shit the bed, wouldn't he?
Mm-hmm. He'd never take it. Yeah.
No.
But I don't
because he's obviously.
Josh Warrington probably wouldn't even fucking take it. You seen the shite that he's been putting him in with, selling out 10 fights. It's fucking absolutely outrageous, the guys he's actually fought. I don't think he's fought a top 50 guy yet.
But this is like, do you not think this is half the problem? Because I think I said it before, but you get shit like this, where you have people like Jupp who just get fucking thrown in, just like, yeah, there you go. Then you have idiots like Warrington, not so much him, but others, who have like fucking 35 fights and they're still fighting bin men.
Like Kell Brook was.
Yeah. Like fucking Canelo as well is a good example. He was like 40 on.
Well, it's Kell Brook against Sammy. You can't look at the career paths. Like Khan had fought about 12 guys before they started stepping him up decent. Brook was still fighting bin men in his like 28th fight.
Yeah, when Khan was what 19, 20, he was fighting better opponents than Brook's fighting now.
Yeah.
And then people try and say that it should be 50-50 or some nonsense like that. And but anyway, yeah. So we'll give respect to George Dubb. Did anyone actually see the full fight?
No.
It is on YouTube if you want to look it up. It's a decent little fight, 6 rounds. Quite heavy punishment by the end.
Fuck that bummy fight. I'm not fucking sitting watching that.
You might enjoy it. It reminded me of when Cotto got his soul taken. It was similar sort of uppercuts.
Mind your man lost his eye. I watched that yesterday. Did Pacquiao break his orbital bone in that fight, or was it just he just fucked it up?
The orbital. He smashed the orbital. The injuries in that fight were fucking horrible. He had about 4 very, very serious eye injuries.
Pacquiao was fucking just to the gills in that fucking fight, man. He got hot with some uppercuts and he just fucking stood there. I mean, these were nasty uppercuts and he just fucking stood. Didn't even take a step back. Good fight. I forgot how good a fight that was.
I think it's underrated as a fight actually because it was.
I forget how good Barry is.
It's a very good fight.
Mainly because like a Floyd fan in, and you have to kind of pick a side, and you can only really appreciate Manny Pacquiao now the fact that he's fucked off and hates the gays. Come on.
And he got schooled by TBE.
You're not.
Right. So just to finish off the recap of the weekend, there wasn't much on. Does anyone want to say anything about the undercard? About Tete or I actually didn't see the Langford fight. If anyone, Ainsley, go ahead, talk about
Langford is fucking shit. He's terrible. Absolutely terrible. Like Lewis Tiller, he fought. I'm not going to sit and pretend to be some expert on him, but he's obviously not any sort of elite level. He's probably, maybe, again, he's like lower end of British level. And he was landing shots at will. The scorecards in that fight were miles too wide. Langford he just looks awful at times. And they like
the final cards. He won like close to a shutout.
It was like 9-3 on 2, and I think they had like 8-3 and a draw round on the other. It's like, come on. He was lighting him up at times. Well, he won it, but it wasn't in doubt that he'd won, and it wasn't a particularly close fight. It might have been 8-4 sort of territory, but because there were rounds when he was like, because Taylor was coming out start of some of the rounds and really putting it on him, or he was doing it later in the rounds. It was sort of like the middle sections where he wasn't doing too much, but he was landing a lot of good shots. He was landing, over on right was landing quite a bit. I don't know. I think if it wasn't that bad, that Taylor. I wouldn't mind seeing him in a few other fights, but like Langford.
What weight is Langford?
Middleweight. I think Ryder chin Langford
We'll fight Billy Joe then, won't he? That'll be the next one.
Fuck's sake.
Yeah, I think they've got to keep him 100 miles away from him because it's just ridiculous. It would be. You just school him and stop him after about 6 or 7 rounds.
But it's weird. But it gives Billy Joe the title for 6 months, doesn't it? It lets him keep it.
Yeah, but
yeah.
If Bursak gets injured, they might just throw him in. But again, it's like I thought he was terrible. He wasn't using his range too much. I just weren't really impressed.
They're going to make that Bursak fight fall through, and they always do, don't they? He hasn't put a show on when it's advertised to go on in a long time. Something will come up and they'll delay it and move it.
But what's doing my head in, and I don't mean to go off too much, but fucking Ron Lewis, who up until last week I thought actually knew what he was on about, is the way he's carried on and trying to defend that fight, make out that like, oh well, you haven't got to fight some killer in your first defence, ignoring the fact that Lemieux fought Triple G in his first defence.
He's saying, you know,
it can make more money.
Waiting until it's worth more money, and that's fine. If he's Billy Joe's manager, then you say, okay, fair enough. You're in this business, but like he's a journalist. Why is he defending it? It's ridiculous. Like he's not going to get any money from the fight being worth slightly more. It boggles my mind sometimes when they
because I always think that the media should sort of be in the same boat as the fans, because they should be wanting to see the better fights, as well as we should, but they shouldn't be wanting none of this bullshit. But it's like, oh well, it'll be worth more in 6 months. There's nothing that Billy Joe Saunders is going to do in the next 6 months to make that fight worth any more. It's only the stuff that Triple G does. So how's it fucking...
Well, I think wasn't Ron Lewis's argument that eventually it would be for all 4 belts, and that give Billy Joe more leverage, which does make sense, but it might be a year before it's for all 4 belts.
But that's just the thing is, it's like, well, what's it matter if he's good enough? He's going to beat Triple G and he can fight him anyway. I hate that argument. It doesn't matter if you're fighting for 4 belts or 1. If you're not good enough, you're not going to win him. So there's no point saying I fought for 4 if you didn't win. That's why I look at it.
No. I think it's just about knowing that it's a cash out, isn't it?
But it's just fucking bullshit. Like, come from people like you, it's like having Fat Dan defending the fucking PBC for some bullshit. Oh well, they can earn an extra 500 grand if they wait 4 months. It's like,
we'll get on to PBC in a bit because it's been going for just over. I think last week was the year anniversary, so we'll do a little bit on PBC in a bit. But I wanted to just hop on to the sort of latest news, mainly UK stuff. As mentioned earlier, we've had the news that Charlie Edwards has pulled out of was it a British title or an English title against Andrew Selby?
British.
He's pulled out the British belt, and quite clearly, Hearn's standard defence was that he had something else lined up. But Edwards has been favouriting tweets saying, "Why fight him now when it could be worth millions in the future? Look at Frampton Quigg." So it's quite clear that Edwards has chosen and selected a different option because he wants to fight. He's not confident enough in fighting Selby at this stage.
But the thing is with this, and this was pointed out by Dave Powell.
He's already been beat off him. Selby beat him in the amateurs.
Yeah. So but what Dave Powell said was that Edwards fought Wilton in a British Eliminator in his last fight. So if they knew they weren't going to fucking fight for it, why has he fought in that? He's just shit the bed.
They might not have expected Andrew Selby to have moved on so quick.
Yeah.
But still.
You can win the British and then relinquish it straight away, because that flyweight, there's not a lot domestically you're going to do, is there?
But I don't see the fucking... I don't know. It just makes it look more and more like a duck in every way you look at it.
It's 100% a duck. Edwards has basically admitted it by favouriting tweets saying, "Why fight him now when you could get more money later?" Like, that is a duck, 100%. Brian, you had a really your tweet about him getting to championship level.
These are fucking flyweights, for heaven's sake, as well. It's like...
I've never been able to take Edwards serious. He reminds me, like, I don't know if any of you ever watched like Prime Suspect with fucking Helen Mirren in it, and there's one like series where it's to do with like fucking people getting killed and basically rent boys, and he looks like a wee rent boy, and I fucking hate him. And I don't, and it's not his fault. It's just basically the way he's born and the way he looks. But he does look like a wee fucking faggot. You go down to London, you're like, I need a shite. I'm going to run into a public bog, and he's sitting there with a fucking pair of jeans on and a fucking low cut blouse, wanting to fucking swap you off for 20 quid. He does look like one of the wee fucking ball bags, and I'm not having it. And then he fucking goes and
got a little pig face. He's got a pig face with a little wig on, hasn't he? Yeah, I know.
And he's like one of the wee fucking Joey Essex non-poofy bastards, isn't he? He's like, not just like, you don't look like a poofy bastard, you're for a poofy area. With poofs, you're poof. So
that's the next one on the list. But I think I did think it was quite funny after, I think, hasn't Edwards spent most of last year claiming that Prince Patel was avoiding him, and now as soon as he's asked to step up, he just refuses to fight Selby.
That's what I said to him.
Hypocrisy was mental. And
I said that to him on
what did you say?
Twitter. I said the exact same thing on Twitter. I just said, so you can call out Prince Patel, who you've beaten like 28 times in the amateurs, but you can't fight Selby, who's fought twice as a pro. And he come back to me and just said, what have you ever done in your life? I was just like, well, that's not answering my question. It's absolutely nothing.
That response, if you ever get that response, or what have you know about boxing, that's automatically, they've just admitted defeat in that argument.
Billy Joe Saunders were doing it as well. Billy Joe Saunders were giving all fans all kinds of fucking stick, like calling them all ugly and that, doing a classic Eddie Hearn move.
He does that thing where they say, why should I have to listen to criticism from fans? It's like, fine, but then don't expect to listen to praise from fans as well.
Yeah.
But then the fan opinion is worthless or it's worth something. You can't have it both ways. Like,
take a shit fight and you take your medicine. Take a good fight and you'll get praise. So don't fucking expect people to pay for your tickets to go and watch your shows if you're going to be slagging off the fans as soon as you have a shit fight.
This shite just showed you the hypocrisy of the fucking cult, who I'm still waiting for all to die in a fire. See when like Paul Butler fucking turned down to fight Afai, they were all fucking up my arms. They were basically sending fucking Snapchat nudes of their cock to Eddie Hearn saying, oh, look at that, and fucking calling Butler a ducking bastard, and Butler saying, oh, there's more money, there's bigger money fights for me out there, and they're like, oh, you're a fucking shite bag. See, as soon as Edwards does that, you've got the fucking retards, and I can't remember who it is. I blocked one of them. I think he's a Middlesbrough fan or something like that. So if you're listening to this, you wee fucking prick, die. Get on about like, oh, the fight can be big, and nobody knew how big the Frampton fight could be. Who gives a fuck? Is this what we want? Is this actually what we want? Fuckers that's got a fucking 4-0 record and a 7-0 record, avoiding each other on the potential that this fight could fucking generate more money years to come. Now,
Charlie Edwards has not exactly been lighting fires, has he?
No,
so he could turn out to just be a fucking British level fighter anyway. So
every fucker thinks of Floyd Mayweather. This is it. Every fucker thinks of Floyd Mayweather. The guy was a one-off. What Floyd done is not going to be repeated. He fucking cornered the. We'll go with the fucking Bob Arum. He cornered the fucking American urban market, and he's got that fucking MTV lifestyle. No cunt else is going to do a fucking Floyd Mayweather.
There's a reason it's never been done before, because it's incredibly fucking difficult to do. And like a lad like
couldn't even do it, and he was more talented.
Exactly, Roy Jones couldn't do it, and he's got a million times more talent than a lad like Charlie Edwards. I think quite telling was, I had an argument similar, Brian, where one guy said, it could be worth millions. And I said, look, I guarantee Edwards versus Selby will never be worth millions. It's just never going to happen. The division's not glamorous enough. It's never going to happen. He said, let's wait and see. And I said, I don't want to wait and see. I'm a fan. Like, I'm not a manager here. I don't want to wait and see. I want them to fight each other now. They're probably the two best guys in Britain. They should fight each other now. And I think it goes back to Cal, I think you might have mentioned this actually in the chat a few days ago, where you said people shouldn't be allowed to fight for world titles or European titles until they've won their domestic belt. And it's not really feasible. But in a situation like this, I think that would be a great rule. Edwards can duck it if he wants, but he's disqualifying himself from ever fighting for the Commonwealth or the European or the world titles as a result. You have to do it kind of level by level. I think it's a good idea.
But the way I see it is, if they fight and lose. If they fight and lose. Whoever loses, he's not going to end it for them. Because if they both get to that level anyway, would that not add an extra angle to the fight and make it bigger anyway? Because then they've fought before. So like with the Gale and Grove, if they fought, so forget the Jack fight. If he went straight into that fight, there'd be more attention on Grove's DeGale too, because there was that pro fight and it was close, and obviously DeGale lost. But now he's a champion.
That would be half the selling point, wouldn't it?
That's
the fact
the thing.
that the first fight was so close. Yeah.
What about Selby Smith as well? It's the same fucking thing.
Oh yeah.
Selby battered him, and then now Smith's
But
like
Smith has
one win
never-
away from being in the exact same boat as him.
Well, yeah, but Stephen Smith moved up, didn't he, after the
Yeah,
second fight?
yeah, but I was just mean like
Away.
fight earlier. It doesn't end your career if you've got a bit of heart and you can come back anyway. Like you can make a good career for yourself with a loss when you're 8-0 or whatever. Who cares?
Look at Floyd's contemporaries as like who would you say are Floyd's contemporaries for the biggest fighter of this era? It's Floyd, Pacquiao, Marquez, and then maybe a guy like Hopkins, maybe.
No,
not
Ricky Burns is at the top of that list there.
Okay, no, that's fine. Burns fits with this. Okay, and Ricky Burns as well. That's the top 5, right?
Johnny
Floyd,
Nelson.
Floyd, undefeated, never. Obviously he is the exception. Marquez lost his debut. Hopkins lost like 2 fights in his first 15. Who was the other one I said? Pacquiao lost to a load of journeymen back in the Philippines before, when he was like 20-3 or something. And then Ricky Burns again lost fights early in his career and came back.
Well, look at his leader.
That Tete fellow lost 3. I think he's dropped 3 losses, 1 by knockout.
Yeah, but
Tete looks class. Like he looks way better than all these.
Exactly. Tete's got 3 losses that look quite bad on the surface of it, but he's quite clearly an elite fighter now, and is brilliant.
The prime example for that is Salido.
Yeah.
Look at how many losses that comes from.
Oh, Derry. Derry's got 10 losses, and Derry's doing well, headlining shows, selling tickets, doing well for himself. And the idea that also Hearn, on the same day he was defending Edwards, ducking Selby, Hearn was tweeting about Crawler, another guy who took losses early on, and has come back. It's just ridiculous. It just undermines like everything he's trying to do. It's just nonsense. If every fighter was brought along like a matchroom fighter, you would never end up with guys with sort of Marquez level Hall of Fame careers. It just wouldn't happen.
But you've got to look at it and think. You think how difficult it is to navigate a career without getting beat? Because anything can happen. You can have just a bad night.
It's matchmaking. It's impossible to do it unless you have extremely good matchmaking.
And good luck. If you get injured, some mad injury, fucking judges mug you off. You get a bad cut. Some fucking little things can just derail that.
One other for the Canelo fight, and Floyd had lost. Or Floyd had got a draw. You know what I mean? It just fucks everything up. Like, it can happen. Anyway, I mentioned it earlier, but we've got the news that Crawler Barroso's confirmed for, is it April, late April?
May the 7th.
May the 7th.
Sorry, no idea of the undercard yet. I'm sure it will be stacked and full of... who do we reckon?
Hearn just tweeted.
Tyrone.
Hearn just tweeted there's another world title being announced.
That's Burns though. But he tweeted, and apparently Martin Murray's going to be on the card, the Crawler one.
That'll be quality. Judging, Murray's the best at super middle, so that'll be a quality opponent.
Yeah.
At least with Martin Murray though, I think Martin Murray absolutely hates the shit fights. He looks as bored as ever. He looks as bored as ever on watching when he's in a fight against someone who's terrible, and he looks terrible when he's fighting him as well.
Yeah, but
Martin Murray he'd rather just go in with DeGale now. And just say, fuck, well, I'll probably lose 9 or 10 rounds, but I'm not going to get stopped.
Yeah,
Don't
but
just fucking do that.
He won't travel now, will he? He'll only fight at home because he keeps getting robbed.
Yeah, but I think he'll go wherever the money is.
He's got no fucking option.
He don't give a shit about boxing. Like he said, and he openly says he don't really like watching it. He don't really like the sport. He's just quite good. So,
which is why he keeps thinking he's being robbed when he hasn't.
Yeah. But I don't mind him. He's fair enough. He's a tough guy, and he just likes fighting the best guys for the most money. So,
right, here's a question. Sorry, here's a question for the Crawler fight. Sam, I'll ask you, mate, and then we can go round. Does Crawler deserve credit for taking this fight?
No, I said this on Twitter, and I said you shouldn't get credit for fighting a mandatory, even if you're mandatory, for example, GGG or Commodore or something. The whole premise of a belt is built on mandatories. You become the champion, you fight the next challengers. It's fucking simple. It's not a case of that looks a bit like.
He wants credit for taking a difficult fight, but
no, I don't
a champion is supposed to take a difficult fight. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, but there's 2 ways of looking at that.
No, there's not 2 ways of looking at it.
Well, there is.
There's one way. If you've got a mandatory challenger, you fight him.
Yeah, but then there's this with Crawler saying he can't have any credit, which is fair enough.
He can.
But then when people get a shit mandatory and fight him, and it's like, oh, he's a fucking dickhead, what's he fighting him for? You can't have that both ways. You can't slag someone off for fighting a shit mandatory.
Out of us,
then...
none of us have slated Golovkin for fighting Wade. We
No,
said
no.
It's a shit fight, but he's got to take it or drop the belt.
You could
Simple as
slag
that.
someone off for only fighting shit mandatories, like Brook. You can't slag someone off for, taking a good voluntary and then having a shit mandatory put upon.
No, yeah.
Kovalev has mandatories, and we don't criticise him, do we?
But with
Yes,
Brook,
he has
he
crap
can get, Brook can get slugged off for the Gavin fight, but he can't get slugged off for fucking Donut and Busier because that's out of his hands. The man should out of your hands. You can't. I don't think anything should be commented. It's just a fight. Get out of the way.
You get slagged off for doing nothing in the year.
Oh yeah, no, I agree with that.
Between one mandatory and the next. That's really what we're criticising him for, isn't it?
No, but I'm just saying. But it does happen with others when they get a mandatory and it's shit. It's like, well, what do you expect them to do?
What do you think of this for a rule? If you're just a belt holder of one belt, right, which a lot of them are, if you duck a mandatory, so if you give your belt up, then you're not allowed to fight for a year. That'd be a good.
No, I've always said if
then
you
they'll have to
vacate,
fight the bastards.
if you vacate your belt for any other reason than you're changing weight, you shouldn't be able to fight for a belt for a fixed period of time.
Yeah.
People would just abuse it and say, "Oh yeah, I'm changing weight," and then go straight back down again.
Yeah, but if they did that, you should have like a limit so they can't fight for the belt for a year.
Yeah, but
say Brook moves up. It's like, right, you can't fight for any belt at that weight for a year.
No, because then you've got rules all over the place.
What if Brook moves up to 154, avoids Spence, but goes straight into a title fight with, say, Lara? Is that all right?
Yeah, that's fine.
Laura would be the best guy he's faced, so yeah, why not?
Well, what if he goes straight into a title fight with someone shit at 154, like
Liam Smith at Anfield?
Yeah, I'd actually quite like
Smith isn't even a fucking world champion. Let's get this right. Like, he's not getting called a world champion. See, until he actually fights some cunt with a pulse, he's not a fucking world champion. Joe Gallagher has not trained a fucking world champion, right? I've already made this point about Crawler. It wasn't his fault that Abril pulled out, right? And he fought Perez, who was fucking shit, right? Joe Gallagher has not trained a fucking world champion. Scott Quigg wasn't a world champion. Liam Smith is a fucking pussy bastard. You fucking waited till Andre get fucking stripped, and you offered him £100,000. He accepted it, and then you never get fucking back to him over it. You fucking prick.
I do agree that, Crawler did sign to fight a very tough champion, right? And the Abril fight was going to be in Manchester, I think, wasn't it, until he pulled out?
Abril, incidentally, has just signed some promotional agreement. I forgot who it was with, but it was last week. Was it with DiBella? So you never know. He's champion in reset.
He's not the best to watch, but he's a good fighter. It'd be good to see him back. Okay, so we're not slagging Crawler off, but we're not giving him mega credit either. I think it'll be a good fight for the record, whatever happens.
I think he could have just shit the bed and got rid of it. I wouldn't be surprised. And then I said,
"No, I couldn't." He had absolutely nowhere to go because I agree. The Flanigan fight was already made with Derry, right?
Yeah, but he could have
Linares
out and fought the winner.
Linares got injured, and they sure as hell weren't fucking gone for Barthélemy. So this was the best of a bad fucking bunch here. He had absolutely nowhere to go because of Kevin Mitchell getting beat. And
it's not an unwinnable fight, though.
No, but this is the thing. Like, nobody knows anything about Barroso. We're all going off the fucking one result here. But for all we know, he could be shite.
He's got two draws. He's got 2 draws on his record.
We know he could fucking punch though. Like his record suggests that. I mean, remember when Gonzalez came over with Burns?
Here's some early predictions. I think this will look like the Mitchell against Prescott fight. I'm not sure if the result will be the same, but I think that's what Crawler will need to do. He'll need to box really carefully.
But I don't think Crawler's that good at box that they do that.
No, me neither. That's why I think Barroso's going to...
Crawler couldn't even fucking get out the way of slab, and that's the slow shit.
I can remember when Crawler fought Murray, and I thought Crawler was getting beat on points when he stopped him. So that says a fair bit.
That was a very good fight, wasn't it? I remember I picked Murray for that. I think I had some money on him. But Murray he gassed, didn't he? He just ran out of steam.
Yeah, and they got punished by Murray fan that night. It was a bit eventful.
I I would really like it if Crawler left Joe Gallagher so we could enjoy him more. It's fucking a bad day. It's a bad day where you've got that much of fucking personal dislike. It's not even anything to do with Hearn. The 4 people turn around and say, it's because he's with Hearn. No, it's not. We actually like Crawler, and if Crawler beats Barroso, we'll be happy. But it's just the fact that Joe Gallagher will consume that win as if he was the actual fucking winner.
Gallagher will be in the ring, holding the belt up, doing the interview. Yeah, you're right.
Basically, and he'll fucking mention something about Quig Frampton, a rematch and all that, and he'll have some sort of excuse, and then we'll realise again how much Joe Gallagher shags animals.
By the way, 3 members of the next big pod will be in Manchester for this fight. So if anyone wants to buy us pints or blowjobs or anything, give us a shout. We're easy to get hold of.
We will be.
Fight us.
Yeah,
you all know that. Buy my fucking boys a drink because they know me.
Yeah, and if you want to fight us, we're not fighting this time because Andy Pop's in with us. So
we got
wait
Bows,
till
we got
we've got Bows.
Oh shit, we got Bows. Yeah, fuck it, we'll fight you.
We'll be in the Shamrock, so hit us up. Again, if you want
it already, I didn't know they were on sale yet.
And we've got them.
I think come to Mulligan's, you little prick.
I think Tom's going as well. So as with the last one, DM Tom or tweet him at Maravilla Tom89.
And you could be the lucky 17-year-old girl that gets pregnant if you play a card right this time, couldn't you?
Obviously, he's having a bit of a bad time at the minute, so you might just want to let him get his head back on. But get a couple of weeks, he'll be ready to go and impregnate more females. So.
Back in the game, really. Yeah. So okay, right. So from one lightweight to probably England's best to Scotland's best. Ricky Burns has got the fight. Is it been completely finalised and signed now, Brian?
Hearney's saying he's announcing a world title fight tomorrow, so read into
right,
that.
And we think that's going to be Burns against that Italian guy, right?
Di Rocco, yes, I would assume so.
I've not seen him before. I don't know about that, but I'm sure we'll have a Burns special next week.
We all talked about this last week. It was Di Rocco's the one that fought Lenny Dawes, isn't it?
Yeah,
you have seen it.
The only thing I know about that is I saw
Lenny Dawes get robbed.
Yeah, exactly.
It's when Lenny Dawes busts him open. And then they put a load of fucking quick heel on his cut, and then they
it was holy water. Pacquiao give it
to him. And then
his shoulder. His shoulder popped magically. The power of the Lord. Okay, so we've done Burns. We'll do a more thorough preview once the fight's actually been signed.
Hold on a fucking minute. You covered Burns for about 30 fucking seconds. I'm not going to let you give me that.
We did it last week though.
Right, all I'm fucking telling is you fucking fags is the WBA regular is not a fucking world title, and I will not be going into this fight. I'm not fucking supporting this fucking sham. And
but Brian, isn't it a route to Burns?
But I don't really care. I love Ricky Burns, and everybody fucking knows that. I encourage every fucker not to go to this fight. Do not go to this fight. Do not fucking pay money for the WBA. I'm not going to call it the Panamanians. I don't give a fuck, right? Do not support this fucking organisation. It's not a fucking real belt. And I know you turn around and say, but I'm supporting the fighter. No, at some point you need to fucking stand up and fucking no support this fucking pish. Do what I'm doing. Pick and choose proper fights. I love Ricky Burns. This fight's fucking a sham. If it gets to Broner later this year, headlining in Vegas, I'll be setting up hundreds of accounts and tweeting fucking fraud, and I'll be using him because he's never headlined fucking Vegas. And
would you go to this fight? If you got Burns Broner in Vegas, would you go out and see it?
I've already said to Mark McFarlane I would be conflicted to fuck if Ricky got Broner in America and I knew Cal was going to fight Leo Santa Cruz because my head would be pickled. I'd need to pick one winner. I couldn't do the two of them because I might be going to IB for this year getting fucking full of the pills, man. Woo-hoo, getting full of the sweatshirts.
That's a really nice segue because we had the news the other day that PBC and Showtime have announced I think they've announced 12 fights for the next sort of 4 months. One of which is Santa Cruz versus Frampton is being discussed for the end of the summer, so that'll probably finish off the season. But the fights that have been signed, let me just get the list up for you. We had
Porky Medina.
Yeah, we've got DeGale Medina. Jack against Butte with the yeah, but the winners will fight each other, so that's fine. If they fight each other this year, that's okay.
But there was people defending Butte getting another shot. That's fucking bullshit.
coming off a loss, it's a bit shit, isn't it?
It weren't a bad loss though. He was quite good in that fight.
A loss is a loss. He deserved to lose a fight. It's not like he got
I know a
robbed.
loss is a loss, but you look at that division, it's thinned out big time. It's fucking shit.
Yeah,
Like,
but you can still
Arthur
get
Abrams got a belt.
Let me go through the fights, and you guys jump in if I say something interesting. We've got Martin against Joshua. This is the Showtime schedule. Martin against Joshua on April the 9th. Obviously, talked about that before. We've now got Selby against Eric Hunter confirmed at the co-feature, which is shite and isn't good enough for a
mandatory.
Yeah, but it's not good. Yeah, it's not a good fight, and it's not good enough for a pay-per-view. Seen a lot of people defending that really good fight. I don't think it is at all.
See, yeah, a few of the Americans seem to think that Hunter's not that bad, but
yeah, but equally, I'd rather see Selby fight another belt holder. Do you know what I mean? Like something. Why can't he fight Gary Russell? Gary Russell was fighting a week later against Patrick Hyland, another shit fight.
Yeah, Hyland's going to get smoked.
How do I remember that Hyland? Where do I remember him for?
What?
Where do I remember that Hyland for?
He might be thinking the other knocked out Matthew.
No, I know him.
He got beat off Javier Fortuna a couple of years ago.
That's it. Fortuna's shitty.
Wouldn't mind Russell against Fortuna, to be honest, but that's not going to happen. We've got Pedraza against Stephen Smith. Pedraza against Stephen Smith finally signed. That's going to be April 16th. Hopefully Smith gets robbed.
Team Smith Bros. Oh, imagine they get fucking robbed and the truth.
What would we prefer? Smith gets chinned in a round or gets robbed horrendous?
No, I want him fucking Lee Selby the big time. Because you know what the thing is though, like, it's that the misconception that Paul and fucking Liam are the pricks, which isn't a misconception, it's true. And like Callum and Stephen are the nice ones, and Callum might very well be, seems to be, but see, anytime Stephen wins, he's fucking always in cunts' fucking faces and getting it, fucking running about the ring and all that and getting it right up fucking cunts. The cunts are fucking not clean out. It was at Buckland, fucking not clean out, and they all invaded the ring like fucking New Age outlaws, just fucking jumping about mental. Scummy bastards.
Yeah, he's the first one to complain if someone celebrates against him, but he does it to absolutely everyone he beats. Yeah, it's not very good sportsmanship. We've then got in May, as we said, we've got Jack against Boutte. Sorry, April 30th. Jack against Boutte and De Gale against Medina. That's fine because they'll fight each other. That's okay. I don't have a problem with that. Medina's a fun fighter. That he should put De Gale under a bit of pressure. But fairly easy champions. Do we agree?
Yeah, but while we're on about Jack, we might as well give a shout out to the idiot off the Next Big Fat Casual pod who was saying that Eddie Hearn should be able to bring Jack over to fight on a Callum Smith undercard to hide the fight.
Are you being serious? What fucker said that?
It was that fucking Mongo the other day, innit?
Well, it was from...
Yeah. What one?
The guy who blocked, I forgot his name.
It's not...
You know what I mean?
Next Big Fight Casuals.
Yeah.
They're fucking assholes, man. I actually want to fucking fight them. I really want to fucking fight them.
The offer's been made.
I offered them to come on last week and they didn't fucking come on. Honestly, if people are listening to this again, tweet fucking Next Big Poof Bastards and say, we want to take them a fucking square go. And if they want, I will come down to Manchester and go to the fucking that next fight, Crawler's fight, if they meet up with us for a fucking scrap. There you go, live on air.
Was the rationale that Smith and Jack would eventually fight at Anfield or some shit like that?
Yeah, he was talking shit about them fighting, but he was what did he say now? He said some bullshit like Abraham's a bigger name than Jack. Jack's got no value. And I'm like, yeah, you do realise he's fucking managed by Eamon and promoted by Floyd, you stupid cunt. And he's like, oh yeah.
I don't think he's a Heyman fighter. I don't think he's a Heyman fighter. I think he's only Floyd actually.
Is it? I thought he was with Eamon now.
Heyman fighter. No, I think he's only with Mayweather.
But do you know Callum Smith's best wins Rocky Fielding and this fucking spaz saying that he's the second best super middleweight in the world? Yeah.
But what did he say now? He said that, what was it? He says, yeah, Jack's got no pulling power. And then we're like, well, Jack's team won the purse bid against Groves and it was well over $1 million.
Okay.
Yeah. Obviously got some, I mean, it's not as if fucking Hearn is going to splash out £3 million to get the fight over here, is it?
Well, Stephen Smith's getting about 28 quid, isn't he, to fight Pedraza?
That was disgraceful, that.
He didn't even be asked to put a bid in, and he told all the fans, all the Matchroom fans, that he was going to put a big bid in he wanted it in England, and then suddenly all the Sky money's going to Stephen Smith. He's going to make a fortune. He's going to pay off his mortgage.
But in
He'll get about
essence,
15 grand back.
yeah. Well, the winning bid's like £80,000.
Well,
That's
saying
what
that,
it was.
he stays at Liverpool, so his mortgage will be paid off for that, won't it? His mortgage will be about 40 quid doing that shit too. Suck my balls, Walker.
And then the next one we've got in May is Wilder against Povetkin. Obviously, that's still TBC at the moment, but it will happen. Presume it will happen in Russia.
Drug testing's come out about this today, so and obviously I've been backing Wilder because I like him and stuff, but I'm starting to get the signs that Wilder might fucking do a U-turn.
It doesn't matter about the drug testing. If Wilder doesn't fight him, he'll get stripped. So,
oh yeah, that's the point. That's what I'm saying. So I think he's going to
make excuses
because they've mentioned it 3 or 4 times. But Povetkin promoter says, "Well, we're going to do it. I've got a feeling they're going to find some excuse."
I mean, I think as a world title fight, I'm sure they'll have to do some sort of testing. Yeah. You never know what to do. But
WBC were supposed to be implementing the thing where all their world title fights had testing anyway, so I don't know what excuses they can come out with if that was actually implemented.
Yeah, you think it would have to be at least USADA. I think that was the rule, wasn't it?
Well, the Russians can't use their own there, can they, because of the stuff that came out at the turn of the year, obviously.
Yeah. Been disgraced.
And they're still banned from the Olympics.
We've got the next fight in June, which could well. I don't know if it'll be fight of the year. It might be beating of the year. Provodnikov against John Molina, which is going to be hot. That'll be a really nasty fight. That'll be John. I predict John Molina will retire after that fight.
It's quite a fun fight to watch for Molina sometimes.
Yeah, but he's so much smaller than Provodnikov, honestly.
This is what you said.
Molina's a lightweight. Provodnikov's a big welterweight. It's going to be nasty.
Yeah, I didn't think about that angle until you mentioned it the other day, and I've thought, yeah, he's going to get hurt pretty badly probably. Because
he won't be able to hurt Provodnikov.
No.
Fuck that bum fight.
Yeah, he's a bum.
They're fun, Brian. You've got to have these kind of these brawls every so often.
Palate cleanse. Fucking shot to shit, man. Who was it fucking stiffing him not long ago?
He fought Broner and he fought Matisse, and he had Matisse on tour for a little bit.
No, but did he not fight somebody after?
He fought Mickey Day and chinned him. I don't know. He got popped for some fucking ped, didn't he? After he fought
Broner. He got banned for about 6 months and hasn't fought since.
I think it was a diuretic actually that he had. But his last fight.
He didn't even throw a punch against fucking Broner, man. The guy's absolute fucking trash.
He lost to Soto in between, didn't he? And barely threw a fucking punch.
No, the people talk about like Provodnikov's like this fucking killer. Like, this fight's fucking shit. Absolute fucking shit.
But
it will be fun though. It will be a fun.
Because
would you rather have this, or would you rather have them in? Because neither of them are really relevant title level.
Well, how about never mind make fucking Beto v Ortiz and just fuck Provo in with Beto then? Just fuck him in with him.
Yeah, but
I was going to go on to that. We've then got confirmed today, I think, in April, Berto Ortiz 2, which is again, you can't complain. I think it's. I tweeted today. If the second fight is even half decent, make the third fight, make the fourth fight. Just have them both fighting each other forever until they retire, because neither guy is ever going to do anything in the sport again. So this is perfect. It's like Marquez Vasquez. They're clearly perfectly matched for each other. They're both complete idiots who like to mix it up, and it'll be great. And I'll stay up for that one. First fight in about 6 months, I'll stay up for.
But those 2 fights go back to something that we say. It doesn't have to be the best person fighting the best person every time. It's just got to be even people who would match well, instead of just having fucking mismatches where someone's just going to get smashed to pieces. Because Berto and Ortiz are both equally shot and equally bad at the minute.
And they have equally big flaws, and it will be great. Whatever happens, it will be fun to watch that fight. Which is Flanigan versus Matthews, as good as as relevant as it was not a fun fight to watch. Quigg Frampton was not fun. This will be good fun, I think. So yeah, I'll be staying up for that one. And then on a similar subject of being well matched, we've got Thurman against Porter now reconfirmed for June 25th. To be honest, I don't care about that fight anymore.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah, don't care. I won't stay up for that.
I'll care a bit if Porter wins, because I don't mind him. seems like a nice enough fella, but Thurman's a little bitch. Fuck Thurman.
I don't know. I think Thurman gets a bit of a sometimes.
Undercard on that show is Cuellar against Mares for the WBA featherweight title, which is actually, I think that's a really good fight. That will be really action packed. See,
my uninformed view was just that Mares going to get chin to fuck here. But
no, I don't think so. I don't think Mares fought Santa Cruz for 12, didn't he? And Santa Cruz throws a lot of punches. And
but is he that big a puncher though?
He just hurt Kiko, didn't he?
Yeah, but Kiko's gone in, now.
Fucking Quig killed Kiko, and Quig's a fucking mong.
With his eyes closed.
But when's one fighter, because we're talking about good fights and actually exciting fights, Cleverly were in a fucking great fight. When's he fighting next?
Well, I think to push him towards Bremer now.
Yeah,
that takes a while to come back, does it not?
Yeah, he fucked his nose and all sorts.
I know he broke his nose, but I didn't know he did his eardrum.
He smashed up his sinuses or whatever it was. But it's funny you say that about Bremer. Today, the Sauerlands, someone asked them, why don't you put Cleverly in with him? And they went, well, we had that fight signed until Hearn pulled out and sent him over to fight what's his face.
So
I'm not sure the Sauerlands are too happy with Hearn and Cleverly at the moment.
There has to be some reason why this Sky keep putting on Bremer on Sky Sports, because nobody's watching it. So fucking... doing a deal with Sauerland somewhere online to get a Brit in with them.
No, they've got all the Sauerland fights, haven't they?
Yeah. Well, they've got which ones they want. But this is the thing.
So we get Sauerland, but we don't get Ortiz against Thompson and fucking Vargas against Ali.
Well, blame Box Nation for that. Blame Box Nation for that. That's the shit they should be picking up.
I'm not paying that £12 anymore if they don't pick it up. Fucking shit.
Did anyone see the tweet that Billy Joe Shazana sent to them Saturday night?
No.
His own Box Nation wouldn't work.
Really?
Yeah, he sent a tweet saying my Box Nation's not working, can you help?
Did they get Box Nation Caravan?
Must do.
I didn't know
Might
that.
have it on his laptop.
Streaming it.
Imagine that, like, Carl Froch tweeting Sky Sports, but the fucking Sky's not working, mate.
Have you seen,
have you paid the $17.99?
Somebody tweeted me saying, funny how from out of nowhere Burns appears at number 14 in the latest WBA rankings at 140. Like, the cunt's no fucking... He's never in his career, I think, fought at 140. But the Figueroa fight was like 142, right? So that was fucking welterweight.
I think he had
his last couple of fights, I think, were like 135, but because like, one of them was for a fucking snidey belt, a WBO thing.
He fought one of the bum. Was it not one of them? That African guy who caught the towel. Wasn't that like a 140 fight? Remember when he's trying to shut the fucking towel in?
How can you possibly get ranked if you're fucking beating him?
Recall Prince Afatusi or something.
Yeah, but look at the WBO rankings. What's gone on there over the last 2 months at light middleweight and middleweight? Fucking, I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's been like Bursak for one for 2 fights at super middleweight, and all of a sudden he gets moved in position to do that, and then they've moved Cotto in at number 1 at 154 above Trout.
Convenient.
Yeah.
The one being talked about is Cotto Kirkland is being discussed. Apparently, I think that's all right, but the catch is that it's being talked about for pay-per-view, which is horrendous.
Well, Rock Nation are paying Cotto so much money, they're going to need to, aren't they?
Yeah.
He got a guarantee of like 15 million or something.
It's an 18 million retainer he's got.
Ridiculous.
But it's fucking shit. Cotto did the same with Gil. Fights Gil after Golovkin smashed him to bits, and now he's fighting Kirkland after Canelo smashed him to bits.
And he dragged the fucker down a 1-5 fight.
Why don't he fight someone that's not been smashed to bits in the last 6 months?
Yeah, but he's fucked in now. He's just taking his money and gonna cut out at some point. He's not even.
Done it throughout. It's not any different.
I know, but it's just a bit. It's obvious that he's going to beat Kirkland because Kirkland walks forward like a mong and he's up his hands up.
I think Kirkland with Iron Wolf could give him a tough fight.
That's the thing, but even with Wolf now,
he's got a fucking chin like Amir Khan.
Yeah, but he has when he's not with Wolf. When he's with Wolf, he can take some fucking shit.
He is. I mean, it sounds like a cliche, but he's a completely different fighter when he's got her in his corner. Like totally different. The Kirkland that beat the shit out of Glenn Tapia, I think that would give Cotto problems.
He'd beat.
And that would probably be a really exciting fight. Cotto might be able to box, but I think eventually Kirkland would trap him against the ropes, and it could get interesting. But yeah, Kirkland, if he can't really be asked and trains with like his mate from down the road, will get destroyed. I agree.
Like 3 or 4 rounds, and he'll just get stopped off a hook, won't he?
Yeah, or he'll quit in his corner or something like that.
Okay, then.
It'll be a really horrible fight. I agree.
Liam Smith v Kirkland.
Well, that's better.
If he loses badly enough to Cotto, then he'll probably get brought over by Frank.
Yeah, but what would you say if they fought tomorrow? Who would you have?
Who's training Kirkland?
So he's not with Ann Wolf.
Yeah, I'd have to go with Liam Smith.
I don't know if Liam Smith's got the power to really fucking trouble Kirkland though.
I don't think he has. It's alright fucking slapping his bums. That John Thompson had the worst chin I've ever seen.
What a wee specky bastard he was, I know, wasn't he? Fucking mess that he was. Cunt was never a boxer, he just looked like some cunt that went to the gym lose weight.
You're like Jimmy Kelly now, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but he won winning rounds. Again, this is what I think I tweeted it to you, Brian, like, Tesco goes on about these great tactics. Losing rounds on fucking purpose is not a good tactic.
No, you're not a good trainer if your tactic is to basically do the rope-a-dope for the fucking 6 rounds, gear away rounds so people tire themselves out so you can all strong. That is not good fucking tactics. That just basically means that your whole fucking system is built around your fighters having stamina and absolutely no fucking skill.
But it's like, say Kovalev fought, I don't know, say like Andy Lee. I know it sounds stupid, but like Kovalev knows he's going to knock him out. It's not good for then Kovalev to say, oh, I'll just lose the first 10 rounds because I know I can chin him. And then hit him in the 10th and be like, oh yeah, that was a masterful fucking game plan.
Paul Smith's that fat bastard, isn't he? Absolute fucking What?
Brian, that was the next one was Paul Smith's adventures for this week, where I think someone tweeted him at the weekend that has he been in discussions for the Badu Jack fight? This guy said, oh, you'd be a much better opponent than Butte. A, I don't think that's true. Not by a long shot. And B,
kill Paul Smith.
Could we pay someone to do it?
I don't think you would need to pay. You would be able to get that on. You'd be able to get some cunt on StubHub for that, wouldn't you? Fucking do him in. Not a problem.
But Paul Smith replied to the Jack suggestion that it had been discussed, but he was going to take a couple of tune-ups first. Paul Smith genuinely seems
he's the A-side, giving Badu a shot.
I genuinely think that he can dictate when he gets another world title fight. Like he can say, "Oh, I'm not ready now. Talk to me in 6 months." And he also seems to earn the right to have a couple of 6-rounders and then go straight back up to world level. I found a really funny interview with him, Brian, a couple of weeks ago. It was him talking about why he had to vacate the British title, and he kept saying they wouldn't approve his opponents. He kept giving them opponents, and he went, yeah, they were being completely unreasonable. They wouldn't approve these opponents. And Coogan said to him, oh, what? They were ranked in the top 10, and he was like, well, they were ranked in the top 15, and then. And then he sort of looked at Coogan and went, do you know what I mean? They were ranked like 12, 13, and they just wouldn't approve them. And it's like, yeah, mate, because you're the fucking champion. You should be fighting guys in the top 5. You can't avoid the top 10 British fighters and expect to keep the belt. But Smith genuinely seemed to think like the board were completely out of order and he'd been robbed of the title. It's just ridiculous.
You know what that was?
He
only needed to win that one more time and he was able to keep it. So he was trying to get that fucking easy defence.
Yeah, and he wouldn't have an opponent in the top 10, and the board just went, no, we're not having it. We're stripping you.
And you had the people saying they were making excuses, saying, oh, he'd already fought him. He can't fight his brother. Rocky Fielding didn't want to fight. Oh, shut the fuck up. Paul Smith's a fat fucking prick.
Fielding would have loved that fight. He would have bitten your arm for that fight. Sorry, Andy, go on.
The thing is with it though, and it might sound like a conspiracy theory coming from me again, but if he would have stayed with Warren, I fucking guarantee to you now that he'd have got that fucking fight, regardless of who it were for the British title. Fucking no doubt about it. It's because he fought Warren off and Warren got his fucking boys doing the usual thing, grassing on people. No,
if you're a guy like Paul Smith and but you're honest about your career and your ability, would you rather win the British title outright or challenge and get beaten at world level?
Have the British title outright.
Yeah, what's going to be better in 20 years? Like the fact that he fought for a world title technically.
He's already fought for a world title, so I just don't see it. I'll fucking go and get that. Because Rocky, he could. Right, we all go on, oh yeah, shouting from Rocky Fielding, but fucking Fielding would shit himself against Callum Smith, so who's to say he's that good?
Imagine getting your wee bro to do your fucking work for you. That is a fucking embarrassment, man. I'm getting my wee bro to batter you. You're a fucking fanny, Paul Smith. Absolute fanny.
Callum Smith is a lot better than Paul Smith, right?
Every cunt's better than Paul Smith. He's a fucking moon unit. You know what Paul Smith looks like? You know how like, they fucking arty pictures I sent in my ball sack? You know how when I used to take it from down below and it had a bit of Mars and that in it? Paul Smith is that fucking picture. Just a big fucking bat of fucking shit. I hate you, Paul Smith. You big fucking beached whale. Eat my ass.
I think it's safe to say Smith is deluded.
Hashtag Fat Jesus.
Fat Jesus, yeah.
If he ever fought Kovalev, I'd pay StubHub £800 prices for a 40 at back.
If Hearn put Kovalev Smith on pay-per-view, I'd pay 20 quid for it, no problem.
If Hearn put Kovalev against all the Smiths, I'd just...
In a tag match.
No, just let them all in at once. He'll just fucking devour them.
I reckon he'd still win, to be honest.
Yeah, I think he'd win. He'd hit biggest, he'd hit Callum, he'd go, and then they'd all be scared and they'd be like, fuck it.
Hit Callum easy because his head's straight up in the air, yeah, and then little Stephen would get his back broken.
Who would pay, who's going to pay for the pay-per-view when Liam Smith gets Floyd for his 50th fight at Anfield?
Fuck's sake. You know what I just... See, you know when you just mentioned breaking his back there, the first thing that came into my head was like kickboxer and like fucking Stephen Smith was Jean-Claude Van Damme and Paul Smith was elder brother that was going to fight Tom Poe. Paul Smith gets his cunt kicked in and ends up fucking crippled. That'd be hilarious, that wouldn't it? Just like Stephen Smith walking by like fucking Tom Poe's like fucking kicking the pillar and all that and like, oh Paul, don't fight him. He's like, that's alright, la. I'm gonna fuck him up, la. And he goes in and gets fucked right up, you fucking big blobby bastard fuck cunt.
We had the question the other week. What's the best
Andy Bass on the chat, man. Stop trying to be some funny troll. You're not fucking funny, you wee fucking poof cake. Shut up. Stop trying to be a prick. I will fucking ruin you.
Sorry, Andy. The law's been laid down, mate. How many dislikes are we up to now on the video? Has anyone got it open?
Second. We're still at 14, which incidentally we had before we went live, so whoever's done that better.
I think fucking Cameron's mob fucking doing loads of disliking, little faggot.
Go on, Team Cameron. Woo!
Fucking
the sport about fuck off.
Listen,
on that note, I'd like to recommend everyone to follow MMA Strike, which is a hot new podcast on MMA by an MMA expert who's been following the sport for about 2 weeks now. So everyone check that out. Great new podcast.
Is it the sport of UFC or is it just straight up UFC?
I'd rather fucking support that fucking sport than this shit that we're fucking supporting.
There's nothing wrong with sport boxing, mate.
A couple of them have liked it now. We've moaned at all the.
At the end of the day, look, fuckers, see, you're watching this. There's enough of you fucking watching it. Like the fucking video, go onto iTunes and rate the fucking podcast. See if you get a 1 star. I don't really give a fuck. I don't, just fucking rate it.
Nah, just give us 5 stars.
Just a little bit of housekeeping. We now have the iTunes stream back up again, so you need to resubscribe though. I think it's a new.
Yeah.
We had to read it as a new podcast, I think, because of the issues with SoundCloud. But it's up there again. You can resubscribe. You can get it through iTunes. You don't have to listen on YouTube. And if you have time to leave a review, then please do. I think Macho Grande promised he would, and then went back on his word. So don't be like. Of course he did.
He's an Arsenal fan, the fucking quitting bastard. He's a weekly disappointment.
But I'm going to make an offer. So obviously for the qualify, anyone who comes up to us lot showing us that they've done a 5-star review, I'll buy them 4 drinks.
4 drinks?
4 drinks.
I bet. You know, I'll believe me fucking snidey fucking me shot.
Vanderpump.
You know how you go to like Spain and all, you're like, oh, fucking 3 drinks if we get in there, you get it, it's like a fucking, it's a shot of fucking Tia Maria or some bullshit.
Shot of apple sours, and you've just got a big bottle of it with little glasses.
Listen,
Yeah.
4 drinks. Well, look, they're still getting something for nothing.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, we'll buy you all a drink each because there's going to be 4 of us there. So.
Yeah, so there'll be me, Corp, Cal, and Corp's mate, the honorary member of
17, that doesn't even make sense.
Gracie. Is Gracie coming up?
It looks like a hobbit.
Not Gracie now.
Not Gracie, okay. I hope that all works out, Sam.
Tom might be there again.
Sam hasn't spoken for like an hour. What's going on?
He's on a big come down, isn't he? He's just listening, I think.
He's pranging out, yeah. Right, Brian, I think you had a question, didn't you? You had a big sort of debate point about Floyd. I think we've covered all the news and all the fights, so we'll go into like highbrow.
Hot list.
No, hot list at the end, mate. We'll do hot list.
Well, let's just quickly mention that Kell Brook.
Literally nothing to preview. So yeah, go on.
Right, and this is hot off the press. This is from the fucking man who knows. Kell Brook, at the minute, the tickets are between 2,000 and 4,000 people expected. That's not including fighter sales. And then Brian predicted, Eddie will do a fucking Q&A. What happens? Oh yeah, I think I'll do a Q&A for some Brook tickets.
To win the tickets, yeah. What's the capacity of the
Fat Jesus.
So please send your questions in to Eddie as offensive as possible. Yeah.
What's the capacity? Sorry, of the Sheffield Arena? 10,000.
Well, so I believe it's set for about 10.5. If you have a look, the only areas that have sold out, so go and have a look online, are ringside, and that's mainly because most of them will be fighter tickets that have been popped off there. He's not one section is even close to selling out.
Right. So what are we saying in terms of the final number?
Well,
maybe
the
like
number. The guy said to me, the guy said earlier that from what he knows and what he can tell, he said it's going to be between 2 and 4, unless it's some mad rush or fighters have sold shitloads that he can't see. So.
How funny is it that fucking Eddie Hearn was saying about Amir Khan's ticket sales in Vegas, saying, yeah, he couldn't even sell out this 8,000 arena. Kell Brook can't sell out something that's about 50 yards from his house. Fucking fag.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, at least Khan would do big tickets in Bolton, wouldn't he? Let's be honest. If Khan fought in Bolton.
He'd do Manchester. He'd do MEN against, like, if he were a champion. He'd do the MEN, probably.
But it's like, I know plenty of fucking casuals around here, mate, and not every single one's, can't be asked, it's shit. Like, they've put the money up loads for the tickets from what it used to be, and he's still fighting shit. Yeah. These people fucking no idea. So if they're twigging on, like,
yes,
he's done his old thing again on Saturday, turning up at Sheffield United to try and drop some interest, pretending he fucking knows it.
And trying to sell this to casuals is impossible when they've seen him against Jojo Dan, who like looked like a spaz, and this guy's beat him twice. Right. Well, how do you sell this? It's impossible to sell.
People actually don't even realise he's a world champion around here.
Well, no.
I think there was a really good point the other week. I can't remember what pod it was on, but someone said, Porter was his breakout win, but now he's kind of broken back in and needs to break out again. Do you know what I mean? Like he's undone all the good work.
He's been broken. He's been broken in a few times, that's for sure.
He's back.
What did you say earlier? Because I forgot. I tweeted it, and Aisha liked it, even though she didn't like the Khan shit yesterday. It was some shit about exploding all over Kevin Bizier. That's what he said. Let me get the exact quote. Kell Brook, I'll explode on Bizier. Then I want unification next.
He needs to keep that sort of stuff to himself. We're just here for the boxing.
I know. I mean, like...
Maybe that's his tactic, psyching him out.
I was thinking this earlier on when I was listening to the Asylum. It was all about Bramer and just how irrelevant he is at world level. And I was kind of thinking, Brook's a bit irrelevant now as well. And he's in the hottest division, and he's just irrelevant.
He needs to prove himself all over again. Yeah, I agree.
He
needs to fight with the win.
He's a Euro bum now, and he's just dragging shit over here.
He's a Sanchenko, but with one win.
He's he's a Chris John, or he's a come over to the States, get one good win, and then never come back again. Or what's a modern example? He's a Felix Sturm, isn't he? I guess.
Felix Sturm fought some. Yeah, but Felix Sturm had slightly better opponents than Brooks having. Like fucking Donut Dan.
Felix Sturm out an arena as well.
The fact that he fought Dan, and right, and forgetting mandatory. I know I sort of going back on a point I made earlier, but he's fighting Dan. Then his next mandatory is a guy who Dan beat twice.
Yeah, the voluntary. It's a bit sorry for him because it's like the most embarrassing mandatory, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like there's impossible sell.
And did you say that Thurman Porter's signed for June?
Yeah, but this
he can't fight either of them in summer, so his only option left is Bradley.
No, it's Garcia. This is what I said.
Garcia.
Garcia won't fight him. That's too dangerous of a fight. Garcia's all about the cash.
Yeah, but then someone mentioned it to me. Was it yesterday on Twitter?
Rematch Gavin.
Peterson's left with nowhere to go. They sort of said, "What would you think about that?"
It's not
I said,
bad.
I'd take that as a fight because Brooks should probably win, and that'd be a fucking massive step forward for him. But
I don't even mind a Chavez fight. Just fight Chavez.
yeah, but he's gone past the point where he can fight him now. If he'd have fought him then, I would have been fine with it, but not fucking now. But you know what this is going to do now? If fucking Brook doesn't sell any fucking tickets, well, he's not going to from the sounds of it, unless he's some mad rush. It's fucking perfectly legitimised Hearn's excuse to put Brook on in London, which pissed me off a bit ago, but I won't really give a fuck now.
Do we think that Danny Garcia versus Brook would be a pay-per-view if it was in the UK?
It'd have to be, wouldn't it?
It would.
What you saying?
Brook Garcia.
Brian, would Brook versus Garcia in the UK be pay-per-view?
Oh, fucking 100%, man. Absolutely.
I actually think with a good undercard that would be worth pay-per-view, and that might be a way of giving Garcia enough money. You know?
This is where I'm going to kind of buck the trend here. If Hearn got Danny Garcia over here, it would need to be pay-per-view. That's the sort of fucking opponent fighter that needs pay-per-view to get over here, because you're not going to come. Garcia's not going to come over here for less than about $3 million. So he's going to need pay-per-view to get that fight, right? But it's the case of like at the weekend, the fucking boss act was basically telling us that Flanigan v Crawford was pay-per-view. No, it's not. It's a fucking domestic fight. It is a domestic fight. It doesn't matter whether the belts are on the line or nothing. It's a fucking domestic fight. The only reason that Quigg Frampton was a pay-per-view is because Frampton fucked off the Hearn. There was so much animosity. Everybody hated each other, and fucking Joe Gallagher started all his piss, but there was so much fucking hatred between everybody because of the amount of bullshit that Hearn had said over the past 2 years. They built into a pay-per-view, which I still didn't agree with, right? But for Crawler Flanigan, it's not a fucking pay-per-view. That is fights we're meant to get on a weekly basis in Sky. But Garcia's a totally different kettle of fish. He was a lineal champ, 140. He's moved up. He's got a belt that he shouldn't have, but he's got a belt anyway. And you need to pay fucking over the odds to get a champion over here. It's a pay-per-view fight. In fact, no fight's a pay-per-view fight, but over here, fucking Danny Garcia is a pay-per-view fight.
We've always said that pay-per-view should be for fights that are impossible to make without pay-per-view. And I agree. Garcia would never come over without pay-per-view money. So, again, this is all hypothetical, but if Garcia said, yeah, all right, if you give me $3 million, I'll come over, and Hearn said, okay, in order to generate that, we'll have to charge it, £20 pay-per-view, I would say that's what pay-per-view is a last resort to get a fight made. It's not a way of getting Anthony Crawler a couple of $100,000 extra on a fight that doesn't deserve it. Like, to me, $500,000 for Crawler Flanigan, that's pretty good money, right?
It's fucking
Crawler's,
great.
Would Crawler have ever seen anywhere near that much money before for a single fight? I don't think so.
Well, my old problem is it's only fucking going to be pay-per-view because they're both British. And why the fuck do we have to pay, like, fucking Thurman Porter isn't? If they were fucking both British and fought here, it'd be pay-per-view, it'd be fucking £500 for a ticket, sat on the roof, they'd be going on StubHub for $20,000 for a fucking, for a pack of fucking Chris out of the bar.
Pay-per-views in America are because, the network cannot cover the purses any other way, right? which is what pay-per-view is for. Yeah. Like,
or if it's
over here it's because we can market that, so let's stick it on pay-per-view.
Like, I just
what would you say? What would you say Flanigan and Crawler are like maybe like the 5th and 8th best lightweight in the world.
Yeah,
It's
not even that, but
it's not even like it's 1 against 2.
Right, I like Crawler, I
Yeah,
like Flanigan. I would not fucking pay 50 pence for a pay-per-view if them two were fighting. Just because, just out of principle, it's not a pay-per-view fucking fight.
No, it's not. It's not. It doesn't. Neither of them earn enough money to justify it. Neither of them have the profile to justify it. It doesn't generate enough public interest to justify it. Yeah, you're completely right.
And there isn't a clamour for that fight outside of Manchester. Like I'd happily watch it. I'm not saying I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I'd happily watch Burns against Crawler or Burns against Flam. Do you know what I mean? I don't really give a shit. I don't care if they're both from the same city and one supports City and one supports Man United, and neither does anyone outside of Manchester. It's just decent fighters fighting each other. That's what we want to see. But I'm not paying pay-per-view because of where they're from. Fuck that.
Do you know what? Just think about it out loud. If Hearn's actually clever, Brook beating Garcia would be a really good route to the Khan fight. You know, it's beating a guy that knocked Khan out, etc. So that actually could be a case of if Hearn invests £3 million now in Garcia, and that could potentially lead to a huge, 20 million quid pay-per-view fight in 18 months' time. If Hearn was playing the longer game, which I don't think he is, I actually think that might be a really good, because I think Brook beats Garcia quite well, especially in the UK.
Yeah.
He might even stop him, and I think that would be a real statement and a really good way of kind of getting under Khan's skin and kind of generating, because the interest has died now, hasn't it, really, because Khan's got better. But that would be a good way of getting the interest, maybe regenerating it. And if you could, maybe you stick Khan on the undercard or something. I don't know. Assuming he loses.
You know what they could do?
I think that could work.
They could just fucking reveal the name of the person that stabbed him, seeing that the Hearn and fucking Brook says that they know who it is. They know who it is, and the guy was back in the UK. So tell us who it is.
Johnny Nelson. Oh, shit.
It's Nelson's postman. He's on the rampage.
Nothing better than a postman fucking raping a dog. Boom!
I didn't know Joe Gallagher used to be a postman.
I know, that's what I was just going to say. Halloween, he dressed up as Postman Pat and shagged Johnny Nelson's dog. Fucking rancid.
Right, Brian, mate, last one before we do the hot list. I think you had a Floyd question, if we want to get into it.
It's not a quick question, though.
What we can do 15 minutes of coming, hot list?
Yeah.
Or we can start on it and then come back to it next week or something. I know these things take...
No, we can get through it. It'd have been better if Alex is on here, because I wouldn't really. You're a prick, Alex. Fuck you. Right, it's just basically like, see when people want to talk about Floyd Mayweather, they either they defend him or they get into fucking attack mode and just start shitting on his resume. So what I done was I basically went through. If I've missed people, then let me know, chat. And if you say anything abusive, then I'll respect you even more. I suck your mozz tits. If I've missed them out, let me know. But I've went through the divisions that he was in, and I've put the fight. A couple of them are like fighters that he could have fought, but did fight, but could have fought at different times, alright. And like people that they're saying that he avoided. So I'll just get through the names. Right, see at 130, there was old Casamayor, right? Acelino Freitas, Barry Jones, Roberto Garcia, and Steve Forbes. Right, that's the 5 names that he could have fought at 130 that he didn't. So, what is it? Let's see, out of all of them, I think that maybe the one that would have maybe gave him the problems was
Barry.
Barry Jones. Barry Jones. Casamayor. I know. I'm a massive fucking Acelino Freitas fan. I'm a massive fucking fan of him. I used to love watching his fights, right? But it was basic, but he carried some fucking devastating.
Floyd would have schooled him. It would have been it would have been like the Corrales fight. It would have looked like that.
He had some power.
Possibly stopped him late. Yeah, he would have schooled him, I think. But yeah,
I think if Floyd stayed away from Barry's right hand, he would have been all right against Barry as well.
Barry had a very formidable knockout record. So.
He'd be the first to admit that.
0.
By the way, Brian, are you gonna mention our new signing of Barry Jones?
I'm still trying to get a hold of him. I think maybe I don't know whether he maybe listened to last week's pod and went, I don't know if I want to go in there right now, because they're just kind of losing the plot. But we're going to get Barry Jones. We're getting Barry Jones on shortly. He's agreed to come on, so we're just kind of trying to sort it out for him to come on. But see the time when Floyd was like at super featherweight, there was Roberto Garcia. He was a decent fighter. He was also undefeated at the time. I know like when Floyd kind of jumped to the up in our division, I think Garcia lost. Then after he took that loss, he just went downhill on that. But I know that fucking Garcia didn't like him at the time, and I think they were maybe wanting that fight. But I don't know. Maybe Casamayor was probably the guy most likely to give him a bit of fucking issue at 130. But I wouldn't say like. You're really looking at 130 and saying that, he didn't fight Aslin Freitas. He could have fought, Freitas could have been at 135 or not, because I checked that up and they were kind of crossing bridges around about like that division and all. But there's no really. Casamayor was a hit or a miss or not. He was good not, but he could also be fucking garbage. So
yeah, good. And I would say if we're talking about proper ducks, I would say that there's a good argument that Floyd just kind of missed those guys. Do you know what I mean? They just missed each other rather than it being an outright duck. I think obviously Floyd could have, the money fighter, he could have made them if he moved heaven and earth to do it. I would say Casamayor would have been the most relevant, and I think it's the one. I think that would have been an incredibly close fight, to be honest. When Floyd was younger, imagine going in with a guy like Casamayor when you're still sort of learning. He would have taken him to school, and I think Casamayor potentially could have been a really tough fight. I would never bet against him, but it could have been difficult.
No.
But I'm prepared to give him a pass on 130, though. I don't think he avoided anyone properly.
There's a couple of people here have got an asterisk right, but it's more at 140. But I'll say it now. Like, I think like with Floyd, a lot of it wasn't his doing as well. Like you had maybe some of the fighters that were like Aaron, and Aaron wasn't fucking particularly keen on matching like his top guys with each other. Like he would now he is, because he's not really got much of a stable, but he wasn't too keen at the time maybe to fucking make the fights. But 135, right, I've got Mosley, who he wanted Mosley. I think it's on record that Mosley fucking turned the fight down 3 times. The two of them were undefeated in their fucking bang primes at that point, but Mosley was chasing.
Right?
No, that's exactly it, right. And this is where my argument comes in as well with Floyd, is like he was chasing fights while other people were chasing the money fights. So he was getting fucking nobody was ducking Floyd, I don't think, but they were chasing the money fights the exact same way that people now were chasing Floyd. Everybody wanted the De La Hoya fight, so they're looking at Floyd and thinking, why would I want to take that fight? That is fucking seriously high risk, low reward. Exactly how the way it's turned out now. But Mosley, he did eventually fight him, but 135, that wasn't a duck. That was basically Mosley not wanting to fight because of financial reasons, right? Juan Diaz, he'd have fucked Juan Diaz up, right? And obviously the fucking one person that people always like.
I think they missed each other. Diaz didn't peak until Floyd was well into his welterweight days. Do you know what I mean?
I know, but
I think when Diaz was coming up, I don't think that's a duck from Floyd at all. Yeah, no. They just missed each other. My big one at 140 is...
No, sorry, 135. There's one more. It's Paul Spadafora.
Oh, fucking hell.
Spadafora famously schooled him in sparring, didn't he?
I had to fucking mention him because that is all that ever gets brought up. He got fucked up in sparring and he didn't want to take that fight.
I've seen part of that sparring video and it's just 2 guys fighting on very even terms. But Spadafora literally made out like I took him to school, he was like in tears and he never wanted to fight me up. It's so funny. I mean, it's quite high level sparring. It's on YouTube if you look up Spadafora Mayweather sparring. The whole thing's on YouTube, and it's 2 guys who are pretty well matched. Might have been an interesting fight.
Who's the other one who's supposed to have schooled Floyd in sparring? I always forget. There was Spadafora and another one.
Well, Spence meant to have fucking give him a right good scene.
That comes from fucking Kenny Broner.
Spence knocked Broner out. That was the room. That was always the room.
Right, no, but Floyd did have a black eye because he's Spence. But that's spam.
What's he doing for Spence, for fuck's sake? He's twice his size.
Yeah, but this all comes from Kenny Porter, who talks fucking shit.
Yeah. Right, so 140. Right, this is basically where, like, you know how when Floyd starts getting the money fights, and this is probably where it kind of comes a wee bit more murky, where there is possibilities that he's maybe fucking ducking people, right? Costa Jeu, right? That's another fighter I absolutely loved. Costa Jeu was a fucking man.
Zhu retired within 18 months of Floyd moving
the
to 140.
thing is,
They were negotiating Hatton for so long. I think I know what you mean. I've heard this levelled at Floyd before, but I think that was if Floyd had moved up a year earlier, they could have fought, and it would have been amazing. But I think. Do you remember Stu was inactive for 2 years before he fought?
Well, that's what I'm going to say. He fucked his knee or something like that, didn't it?
Yeah. He wasn't around. I don't think that was really an option for Floyd. I'm willing to give him a pass on that one as well.
I'm only going to mention this because I've heard a couple of people saying this, and it's basically because they hate Floyd anyway, right? But I'm quite embarrassed to say this, right? I really am. I'm fucking cringing at this, but they're saying that Floyd ducked Ricky Hatton at 140 because that was his best weight. I know, man. But
he dragged him up.
Dog's got tits.
Hans dogs get tits, man. And this name's basically coming from what I said a couple of minutes ago, Miguel Cotto, but I honestly believe that that fight did not happen because he did not want to fucking put his two fucking major guys in with each other and one of them was going to lose. Because if you look, once Floyd left Arum, he got the fucking fights that he wanted. He got like Cotto, he got Oscar De La Hoya, he got like Ricky Hatton, he got these fucking fights. He had to leave Arum to get him, so I don't particularly think the Cotto one was a duck, more to do with the fact that Arum basically just did not want to put the two of them in with each other. And Cotto was fucking dying at that weight, right enough, man. He was fucking killing himself, man. By the
time Cotto had the big enough name to justify it, he was basically moving up, and Floyd was fighting De La Hoya, basically. Yeah, I think the Cotto one's, it's a grey area. I don't think it's a duck because I think Floyd would have easily beaten Cotto at 140, easily. The amount, Cotto was getting knocked around by Ricardo Torres, for fuck's sake. Like, Floyd was on a completely different level, I think. That's not, to me, that's not a duck.
See, this name's basically gone for a 140 and 147 as well, and it's hard to say whether it's a duck or no because
duck Margarito. That is a fact.
Right, well, Margarito, fuck man, was Margarito ever a 140? We're going to him, but Tim Bradley, I honestly think that fucking Tim Bradley's a bit of a nightmare for any cunt, and I think maybe he's Tim Bradley's the kind of cunt where they'd be like, why the fuck do I want to even put myself in that fight? I like Bradley.
When is that feasible though to be made, that fight? I can't really think of a time when that could have been made.
Because Bradley was still 140 up to about 2008 or something like that, and Floyd was already 147 and retired at that point. But he could have still fought him. It doesn't. Let's see if you can make the Pacquiao fight. You could make the fucking Bradley fight. There's still no excuse for not fucking me. I know they turn around and say, but the money was too big to fight Pacquiao. Well, it doesn't matter. The fight happened, so you could have fought Tim Bradley. You should have fought him instead of. Who's that fucking Berto? I mean, imagine fucking beating Pacquiao, then beating the second best guy after that. That'd have been fucking great. But no, you go with Berto. But right, we're going to go into fucking 147. Right, this is where it fucking goes all tits up, doesn't it? Right. There's obviously Manny Pacquiao. I watched the Pacquiao fucking Margarito fight yesterday, and it just made me pissed off that fucking that fight didn't happen between 2009 and 2011. I was fucking raging yesterday about it because see, when you just watch Pacquiao at that point, he was fucking devastating, and see Floyd bang in that time, he'd just obviously come back with Marquez and that, but he hadn't lost nothing, and right to that point was fucking prime. That fight to fight.
It should have happened immediately after the Marquez fight, shouldn't it? That would have been perfect. After he'd come back, proved that he was still, and it would have taken Floyd to a level he'd never had to go. I'm not saying he would have. He probably, I don't know. I think 60-40 probably still would have won, but he would have had to have fought better than he'd ever fought before. And yeah, with guys like Mayweather, you just want to see them at their absolute best, like really pushed. And it's a shame that he came back and he fought an old Mosley, and then he fought fucking old T.
See when he come back and fought a hand, then obviously the break, then he come back with Marquez. He was still kind of offensive. He wasn't in that kind of defensive mode. I think he went more defensive when he signed that Showtime contract. So he would have came more at fucking Manny, and Manny would have just went for that. I think it'd have been a fucking belter of a fight.
Manny'd have got chinned if it had been earlier.
That's what I think. I think he would have walked onto a fucking Hatton type punch. No, I don't mean like Pacquiao knocked the Hatton. I just mean because see if you watch the Floyd v Manny fight like last year, Floyd was constantly trying to look for that check hook. You could see it all night, man. He kept trying to hit him, and I was like, "Oh, you cheeky bastard!"
He could have stopped him last year, but he fucking Didn't bother.
No, he couldn't have fucking stopped him, for fuck's sake.
Right,
When did he last stop anyone?
right. This is my
Not-
favourite fight.
Sorry, go on.
Like, this is my favourite fighter. Like, I hate people slagging him. I fucking do. I do block people because of it. But Oscar De La Hoya, I would have liked to have seen that fight a bit fucking earlier because I think.
He ducked the rematch as well.
Aye. That's true. Oscar's never fucking one for shying away from a fight. He basically. What? Sorry, Karen. I have killed. Man, your fucking part's absolutely brutal on that fucking chat. Sync team. I hope you fucking find your most fucking tits cut off. De La Hoya, I don't know what.
He had a contract for the rematch, and Floyd retired to let it expire, sort of thing.
Yeah, I don't even think that fight was close. So that's the fucking problem. I know people had like a split decision, but I didn't have that fight close. I had it like the follow fight. I had it like 9-3. I really did. I had it competitive for the first 6 rounds. Then after that, Floyd just as his usual kind of adjusts and like steals the rounds.
The thing is, we know that Floyd would have won the rematch even more convincingly. Like, of course he would. But it's you think at the time, was there a better opponent than De La Hoya again? Probably not. It's a shame it didn't happen again, just because it could prove the point,
I just find with that fight, it was De La Hoya just was throwing loads of activity. He was throwing a lot of punches, but see if you actually watch the fight, he wasn't connecting with most of them. Just because you're fucking throwing loads doesn't mean that you should be scoring rounds for that. And I think people hated Floyd that much. They had that fight a lot closer. Now, I mean, I know people that had like Floyd actually losing to Cotto. That's how much they hate him for. Right, but I'm going to come on to you. I'll just get David Alexander out of the way because I know people fucking says he ducked him, but the anus man, no, right. But here's the 2 names. Paul Williams and Antonio Margarito, and I don't particularly think he ducked Margarito, but 100% think that he fucking was not wanting Paul Williams. I do believe that he fucking ducked Paul Williams.
I think the Margarito thing, I can remember having a debate about this, because he turned Margarito down, didn't he? And then he fought Valdemir. Then he fought Judah. He fought Judah, then he fought Valdemir. And the argument was that, at the time he signed for Judah, when Judah was the lineal champ, right? And but then Valdemir upset him. And Valdemir upset him. I think the issue is that people say, he turned Margarito down, $8 million was it, because he got a better offer to fight Judah. But then Judah lost in that before Floyd fought him, and then Floyd had to renegotiate the contract. So you're thinking, well, actually, by the time it rolled round, he was fighting Judah, who didn't have the title anymore, and that was worth less than Margarito, who still had a belt. So it wasn't a duck initially, but it ended up being a duck, if that makes sense.
See the hang though, because Judah lost, he went for getting $3 million to $1.5 million. So I don't know whether maybe Floyd took maybe that money. He took that extra $1.5 million. But I know
it would have been worth a lot less though, without the lineal belt on the line and all this stuff. Like Judah versus Floyd with the lineal title would have been a huge fight, enormous. And then obviously he fought Valdemir. He turned Margarito down, and whether you said it was a good offer or the fact is he turned down the chance to win Margarito's belt, which I think.
We've all seen that fucking video where Margarito confronts him at some sort of convention or something like that, and Floyd looks as if he's absolutely fucking shitting it. I've seen that, haven't you? Where Floyd's getting interviewed with some cunt and Margarito, and somebody tells him that Margarito's there, and he keeps looking over his shoulder and looking about, looking paranoid. You seen that? Aye, he did look as if he was fucking terrified.
Yeah.
But I definitely think Paul Williams, but again, Paul Williams, everybody ducked Paul Williams. Not one fucking person was wanting to fight him. So Floyd was just basically in a fucking queue with everybody else that didn't want to fight this guy.
But that's, I mean, is that Floyd was the best of them? Surely he should be the one. If anyone's going to fight him, it should be. I think Floyd would have beaten Williams. I think it would have been a close, an 8-4, maybe a 7-5 type fight, and Williams would have given him problems, but Floyd would have landed much cleaner and won a lot of the rounds based off clean shots. But it would have been a tough fight, and I think that Floyd just thought, Floyd thought, right, for the same amount of money, there's an easier option. And of course he was still fighting at a very high level, but you have to say that, I don't know if duck is too strong a word, but he definitely avoided Williams. Do you know what I mean? He chose, he could have fought him if he wanted. And
Williams was easy to hit, but it was awkward as fuck as well, and he threw a lot of punches at. But at
147, he had one of the best chins I've ever seen. Williams, he never even got rocked at welterweight. It wasn't until he went way up in weight that he got knocked out.
See with like Margarito, I just think that maybe Margarito's no similar to Castillo. They're two totally different types of brawlers, right? But I just think maybe just if he's seen like how much he kind of struggled with Castillo, even though I had fucking Floyd clearly winning that fight, I think maybe he's like, fuck it. But I don't know, man. Nobody Margarito. I don't know. I'm not wanting to say, but I think like Paul Williams is one of them. But see, like lastly, like 154, I obviously had Martinez on there. I had Vernon Forrest, who is also my boy. He was great. Winky right, but debatable. I don't know about that timeline whether they were able to
would have been way past it by the time.
And obviously fucking Erislan de Lara. Because obviously you've got he's got a mad fucking cult where Lara would beat Floyd, he would beat Golovkin, he would fucking beat Jesus Christ Superstar. But I think he would have. I think like Forrest would have been the hardest fight for him. I always wanted the Sergio Martinez fight. That was basically the fight that I always wanted. Floyd v Martinez at 154. But it never happened, and
they were arguably for a couple of years they were probably the top 2 pound for pound in the sport, weren't they? And they were one weight division apart, and it could have Martinez could have made 154 easy, and Floyd was fighting at 147 or whatever. It was so easy to make, and Martinez probably could have dropped down even more, to be honest, back in his prime. And it's a real shame that Floyd just basically said, it's off the table, it's never going to happen. And you think
I'm not a light middleweight, even though he went up for.
Is it because Martinez would have given him problems? I think
of course.
It's possible. Yeah.
Martinez is the fucking man. Martinez was great to watch. I don't know what got people saying that like Martinez. Like, see when you watch that Maravilla, like seriously, people are saying like he's no fucking entertaining to watch. I was like, what the fuck are you watching then? He is entertaining. He's fucking dynamite. He's unorthodox as fuck.
Yeah, I think you've missed out two obvious names who Floyd ducked, but both from the same gym but different weights. One at 140, one at 147. Junior Witter and Kell Brook.
You know, I seen Junior Witter
I was going to say Prince Nassim and Kell Brook. Oh, amazing. We've got three from the same family.
Fucking hell.
You know, when they say like if like fucking Nazim beat like Barrera, they was talking all that. Floyd was fucking massive, man. He went absolutely schooled Naz.
Yes, he did get to do that.
And I'm one of Naz's biggest fans. I hate him as a human being. He's a horrible, horrible human being. But I'm one of his fucking biggest fans. Floyd would have fucking ruined him. Naz is a midget. Yeah. What is Naz 5'2" or something like that?
Yeah, Mayweather is 30% bigger than Naz. It's ridiculous. Yeah. I agree with you that fight would have been a stupid catchweight, and Naz would have got. Floyd's arms are like twice as long. It wouldn't have been a contest. It would have been like Mayweather fighting a guy like Golovkin now. It would have been that sort of size difference.
Naz is basically Rigo. Naz maxed out at super bantamweight. He was never a fucking featherweight either. That was a mad thing.
He was quite fleshy when he went up to feather, wasn't he? By the time he
I loved Naz, man. Oh, I fucking loved Naz, man. I just loved the fact that he was the sort of guy that you couldn't train that in a gym. What he could do, it was just weird. That wasn't a fucking Angle fighter. He just had all that talent, and he just went to Angle, and I don't even know if fucking Angle done anything with him because he never ever listened to him either. So he would just do his own thing. I loved Naz, but what a prick of a man. Absolutely.
It was all natural talent, wasn't it? There was no technique.
Yeah, basically, aye. But I'm just going to finish it. Like Vernon Forrest, man. Man, he was just a big fucker, wasn't he? I know, like he was maybe 147, 154 now, but I don't know if they could. It was at the tail end at 154 when Floyd could have fought. When
could that fight have happened realistically? What are we thinking? Like maybe 2006, 2007, something like that.
Between that 2008, I know like he kind of retired by then, but I know that Vernon Forrest was like the 154 champion. 2006, 7, something like that. Maybe 2008 and all, because he lost his belt again, then won it.
Yeah, he had the 154. He beat Baldemir in 2007 to win the 154 belt, WBC. So Floyd could have, and that was so. We're talking. Who was Floyd fighting in 2007? Gatti? I don't know. Castillo? No, that was a bit before, wasn't it? I don't know if the timelines quite sync up with Forrest, because Forrest retired when he was quite young. That was the thing. No, he didn't. Sorry, what am I talking about? Forrest got started when quite late and was
No, but Floyd definitely could have fought him when he was the 154 champion. He could have definitely, because Floyd was still active at that time before he retired.
Who was Floyd fighting in 2007?
Hatton and De La Hoya.
Okay. Oh right, and that was when Forrest was winning a belt at 154. So that could have happened. Yeah.
Like Sergio Mora. Haha! Fucking, I can't believe he lost to Sergio Mora. That's fucking devastating. Sergio Mora's got that record.
Floyd ducked Mora as well, numerous times.
The Latin snake.
So what are we saying then in terms of guys? What do you think in terms of sort of stone? What's the word? Set in stone ducks, like definite ducks. Are there any?
I would basically say 147, where it consistently like. I wouldn't say Pacquiao's a duck. I just think it was just a pure fuck up of both sides that didn't wicket. But I think Marguerite and Paul Williams are the ones most that stick out. The other ones, I would maybe say Costas you, but you broke that down well enough to fucking work out that he was injured and stuff like that.
Zoo and Mayweather were only in the same division for about a year, and it was when Zoo was old. I don't think it's a duck for Mayweather. I think it just they missed each other by a year or two. I think I'm happy to say that both guys are. It was just a bad luck rather than deliberate.
So fucking Williams and Margarito. I met Williams in Vegas last year. He was not a happy man. Well, I suppose if you're fucking stuck in a wheelchair, you'd be pretty pissed off if you've got a fat Scottish guy hanging on the top of you. But
why wasn't he? He's pretty friendly when.
Aye, but he wasn't that day. He was fucking raging. I was shouting fucking Sergio at him.
For fuck's sake. No,
I'd met Sergio fucking 7-8 months before that in Belfast, man, and I had like Sergio in a headlock shouting fucking Paul Williams, being two-faced as fuck. Oh, I love Sergio. He's a big guy, man. He had fucking solid, a big guy. I was surprised how big he was. He's not like kind of really tall, because when I met like George Groves is a big fucker, but see, thickness-wise, Sergio Martinez is fucking he's stocky as fuck, man. He is a big guy. Big guy.
He would have been able to throw Floyd around a bit, wouldn't he, in the ring? Like he would have been much bigger than him. I guess really, the Ducks are all where we expect Floyd to do kind of extraordinary things, and he doesn't quite manage it. And we only expect that because he's so good. So they're kind of, it's a bit like with Pacquiao, where you say, he did 6 weight divisions, but he could have done 7 or whatever it is. And you think, are we being a bit demanding here, or are we holding him to the high standards because we think so highly of him? It's a funny.
No, it's like I asked the Asylum question last night about Sugar Ray Leonard, and I really hate that man, because he's got the same sort of attributes where he fuck opponents about so much, but at the same time, he fought Duran. Maybe Duran wasn't in his peak, but he was still as healthy as fuck when he went up to fight him at welterweight. He fought Hearns banging his peak. He gave him a rematch, right? And he fucked he never fought Aaron Pryor. That bullshit. He fucked Hearns a bit. But see if like Floyd maybe fought Pacquiao bang in his prime, and maybe fought like Margarito, then I don't think people would be that pissed off. Like, I think it's just the fact that there was a couple of guys that he didn't. Leonard doesn't get so much grief is because he did fight fucking the best guys in his division, and some of them were right in their peak. But Leonard's a fucking ballback.
The issue is that Floyd took every fight when he wanted to.
Aye.
And it's the same with Leonard. Leonard took every fight when he wanted to, didn't he? Whereas Hagler kind of took what he had to take. But eventually Leonard did fight everyone. Whereas there are a couple of people that Floyd should have fought really that he didn't, and it's a shame because he didn't fight
Aaron Pryor. Though I think that'd have been a good fight. I don't think. I think Pryor could.
That was a duck, I think, by Leonard. I think that was.
I think Pryor could have beat Leonard.
Would have been a really good fight.
And Pryor's got one of the fucking shittiest resumes in boxing.
Yeah, like 2 wins, and that's it. Yeah.
Right, so that's me. Everyone's fucking raging because I've spent half an hour talking about TV.
I think that's a good chat.
Man, you fucking pricks, man. There's no fucking boxing on. We're going to talk about something. If we talk about Ricky Burns, he's a fucking great and all. Ricky Burns, Floyd Mayweather. That's all I've got.
We've got 49 wins, and then maybe 2 ducks and 1 sort of half duck. It's not too bad.
Back
When
for
you
his
look at
50.
it, and and he's going to come back and fight. I don't know.
Margarito. How funny would it be if he fought Margarito?
I'd be amazing if he fought. Yeah, and then he fights Margarito on pay-per-view, $99, and there's like, well, I would have fought Vernon Forrest, but he died or whatever. Gets Costa out of retirement at age 50, fights him, and then says, I beat everyone in my era. Margarito would take that fight as well.
In fact, Freitas is up at. He's still fighting now. I think he's at like middleweight, or is he even super middleweight? The guy's massive.
Yeah,
he's still knocking people out too.
Yeah, he's fighting these like journeymen down in Brazil, isn't he? It's really weird.
Freitas was fucking lethal, man. I can't remember is it the Barrios fight? The Barrios fight, that is one of my favourite ever fights.
I watched that quite recently. Yeah, I love that fight. And also the Corrales fight was brilliant as well, like a proper sort of back and forth fight. And then he broke him down in the end. But I think Floyd would have destroyed Freitas. Like, it would have been his breakout win. He would have.
Barry Jones put Freitas on his arse. Barry Jones, my man.
We'll have to get Barry on and to talk about it, because I'd be interested to see how he thinks a Mayweather Freitas fight would have gone, because obviously he has first-hand experience. But yeah, there's literally nothing next week, is there, to preview? There's absolutely fuck all.
Absolutely nothing. So that's how I'm going to try and get Barry on.
Yeah, that would be good. Or we might try and get Charles on for round 2. But I've got literally for this weekend, Hecky Budler's fighting, some nothing fight. We've got a card in Denmark, and we've got Juan Diaz and Mike Alvarado making comebacks. So absolutely fuck all. Yeah, so I think that's probably a good place to leave it. Ainsley, do you agree with us? Floyd, I think it's 2 ducks maximum.
Yeah. I don't want to be too harsh.
Were you going to say duck Kell Brook as well?
Amir Khan.
Oh yeah, we didn't even mention that. That shows how seriously we take it. The idea that he was avoiding Khan.
No.
Yeah. He does the Guerrero rematch.
Floyd. Man, that Khan's. I mean, I went over one last night, man. They Khan fans are fucking.
Yeah.
They're absolute fucking pain in the arses, man. They Khan fans.
Aisha, Bones picked there, got the first one with ripping Khan. As soon as I fucking turned on Brooke today, she was lapping it up.
It's like, I mean, I had one wee guy doing my nut and I'm trying to explain to him here that Thurman called out Khan, and Khan fucking didn't want to take the fights. I didn't. It was like, there's a difference between calling out and just mentioning it in interviews, and I was like, well, that's all Khan ever done. Khan only ever mentioned people in fucking interviews, but you're making out his people ducking him. Aye, he didn't want this fight, he didn't want that fight, and then he's like, who's Thurman actually fought? And I was like, well, he would have fought Khan if Khan accepted the fucking fight, and it was just going round in circles, and you can't apply logic to speaking to a Khan fucking fan. There is no logic to him. They actually think he deserves all these big fights, and you're like, but who's he fought the last couple of years? Who has he actually fucking fought? They're like, well, who's Thurman fought? And I was like, exactly. They're all fighting the same shite. Everybody's ducking each other.
Exactly, and they're all just waiting for the fucking payday. But I do think generally Thurman has fought who was available generally. Because I remember he was. Do you remember he was trying to fight Maidana about 4 years ago, and then it fell through.
Maidana fucking shattered for 2 years, man. Maidana agreed to take the fight, then pulled out.
Yeah, Maidana. I remember HBO having a promo for it, and then about a week later, Maidana pulling out. So if you think about it, Thurman has tried to get the fights. I think. I want Thurman versus Brook. I think that's the best fight in that division. From stylistically on 11. I think that's a brilliant fight, and I wish there was some way it could get made. But Hearns basically said, "There's no way it will happen." It's a shame.
I think Brook could probably fold him as well.
I don't know. I think that's a proper 50-50.
Yeah, but
from what
I'll lean that way. I won't be surprised at any result with it, but that's my call on that one. At the minute, I might change my mind in a few weeks.
Hard to see Thurman on Brook if he gets the body shots going, he might be able to really slow Thurman down. But yeah, maybe we can come back to that one in the future. But yeah, we'll have to. If anyone's got any ideas, any of the people who are still with us, next week that we are going to have absolutely nothing to talk about. So if you've got any questions at all, or talking points, or even if you just want to get on the show and just chat to the experts, then we'll allow it. For one show only, we'll allow you plebs to come on and talk to us.
I tell you what, there's some pricks in that chat, right? They really are. But if you send me a picture of your dicks, I will pick one of you next week to be a panelist on this show. So, you know my Twitter account. Send me a picture of your dicks, and don't be doing fucking googling pictures of fucking people's bobies and all that nicely groomed penises with no foreskin. I want just fucking raw dogging. I want the fucking proper bobies, and I'll pick the winner, and you can be on the fucking panel next week with the boys. And I might even add you into the WhatsApp chat, and that is fucking delightful.
Oh yeah, can you also send them pictures to Maravilla Tom89?
Yeah. Pray for Tom. Tom's going to be a da.
What's happened to Tom, Ainsley? Have you got any
Brian
audio?
tells you in the group that 17-year-old lass that I shagged in Manchester's pregnant.
Okay. Well, we're going to go off and look for Tom before he does something. Takes his own life.
Are we going to mention the God or what?
Oh, Greedo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to do the hot list, but Cal's left, so I feel bad now. But
we'll just do a quick. Because everyone's jumped on their fucking bandwagon now, aren't they?
I've seen that. Everybody's on the bandwagon now.
I think we've got to put Garrido in at number one. He's come back and got a fantastic win on the road.
Yeah.
Against an undefeated opponent. I'm nominating George Jupp as well. Sorry, Andy, gone.
The guy he beat was an Olympic silver medalist as well, who beat Pedrosa at the Olympics.
It's a really good win, honestly. Yeah, very good. But Ranald Garrido back in. I'm also going to nominate George Jupp for going on the road and taking a fight and taking a beating. Who else can we put in?
Willie.
Ricky Burns.
Okay, so Ricky getting back to title contention. Burns in at 3.
Ricky Burns is going to take fucking Bruno's soul later this year.
I hope that happens. It's a shame it never happened back in the day. 3 or 4 years ago? Would have been a proper unification fight, wouldn't it? At 135.
Yep. 130 was it? Was it 130? I think.
No, I think it was 130. Burns was. No, I think actually, yeah, you might be right. I forget, but I worry Burns. I'm not sure Burns is big enough at 140, but we'll see. Anyway, cheers, guys. I don't know how to turn it off.
Brian's driving tonight.
I fucking see just before you go, man. I just fucking hate Eddie Hearn. He's a fucking. Just before I go, like Hearn says that he sold 8,000 tickets for.
Yeah, I've seen that. That was March 3rd. I've replied with the. I'll post it up again in a sec. I'll let you retweet it. It's just a screenshot.
Absolutely.
A screenshot of the floor plan. So either someone's lied earlier on from the box office, and the website's lying, or Hearn's lying.
Yeah, either the website for the venue is lying, or Hearn. I wonder which one it could be. Yeah,
obviously that fucking website, sack of shit.
I fucking hate Eddie Hearn, man. What a pricker, man.
But yeah, if Hearn does a Q&A, I think we should try and galvanise our massive support to just come up with some ridiculous questions. Flood Coogan's inbox.
I chat, see when like Coogan puts out like here's fucking fastcar@hotmail.com, I think it is, or Gmail or something like that. Just start emailing loads of fucking shite. And also Rob Palmer fucking get arrested at the weekend in Los Angeles because he fucking fingered a goat.
In the LA Zoo.
Aye, Rob Palmer fingered a goat. Unbelievable. Check out boxing.
Yeah. Press Pass Paul cunt as well, by the way.
Press Pass Paul is a fucking prick. I heard the shit he was saying last night about like Warren's card, like always bitching about the production. Like, he is a fucking weirdo. No cunt gives a fuck about the production. Nobody sits and watches like Sky and goes, oh, this is fucking right good. You see the way they just bounced off each other. No, I like Box Nation because it's just a bunch of fannies out their face full of drinking drugs, talking pure garbage. It looks cheap as shit because we're all cheap.
Yeah, I like it because it feels like raw, doesn't it? And like real. I like it. I agree with you.
But the only thing, my only problem with the Warren shit from the weekend is they lied about Linares, and they've continued to try and perpetuate this myth that he knew he was going to vacate his belt, and he's not. So, Warren, shut the fuck up, you lying cunt.
Aye, fuck you, Warren. I hope you fucking get shot again.
We want all the promoters to die. Okay.
I wouldn't mind if all the promoters died.
Well, we're starting our own promotional company soon. Next
Yeah.
big promotions.
Yep.
So, Robin Deakin, marquee signing.
MVP, yeah.
And,
Deakin and Garrido.
Peter Sutcliffe.
Sutcliffe in the corner, working the pass.
He reckons he can
Right.
get licensed again, so I might go for that run at the IBF belt.
He's got an in at the IBF. Brian, turn the fucking live status off.
Yeah.
I just basically want to see Can v Salida rematch and fucking Gaza Strip. Peace out, people.
Fuck